Well. How's everybody doing today? I have a fun one today. Well, I don't know. Depends. The big thing here with Linux. I see people coming from Windows to Linux, and then they try and do Windows things in Linux, and then they fail miserably. I see you. And a lot of things, especially when it comes to games, Steam games and other things, they're like, well, it's harder to mod in Linux. That's just because there's not a tool there to do it for you. So today I thought, well, there's a fundamental misunderstanding on how, well, not misunderstanding, it's just a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge on how Steam and games operate using Wine in Linux. So we're going to write a script, and I'm going to try and make it a universal script that can be adapted for any game. And I'm going to choose a game that doesn't really have any mod support really now, and we're going to mod it. You might be thinking, Titus, you can't really mod every game. Yeah, you can. You really can. And most games are like on Nexus mods, and some of them are a little wacky and hard to do on Windows. But we can mod those on Linux. Sometimes a lot easier. And I want to kind of show you how cool that is. So today we'll probably use Arc Raiders as an example of modding a game to be better on Linux. And I'm like, hey, you know, I was just sitting there the other night loading into my 15th match. Yeah, I didn't do much yesterday except for play Arc Raiders. I should have probably streamed it, but you know, most people don't follow me for gaming. So I was like, oh, that'd be a fun script to do tomorrow. So anyways, shorten up like the transition sequences in Arc Raiders, so then you get a little in your games a lot faster. There's a lot of optimizations you can make from a configuration standpoint, which Arc Raiders hides their configuration. A lot of like Bethesda games like to hide it and like documents my games. Arc Raiders, typical Windows here, hides it in program data. I think it's local app data, and then it's buried in there under some unknown. It's like a generic name for pulling in custom INI settings. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a neat one to showcase. So whenever you're changing, just as a general rule of thumb, and I'm going to show this here in a second. Whenever you're changing game files, you're going to be in the common folder in Steam. And whenever you're changing settings, you're going to typically be in compat data, game ID, and then buried in the folder structure is going to be, you know, depending on the game. It could be program data. It could be my documents under user Steam. It could be, they put them, it's just whatever the game dev's feeling like that day. And I want to kind of make a universal script that just you can target all these things, and it should be pretty darn simple when I'm finished. It's not going to be simple getting there though. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Ban incoming soon. You know, I've only been banned from, well, I don't know, only a handful of games. You know, I don't even think more, and permabanned. I don't think I have ever been permabanned. Oh, I almost got permabanned from Guild Wars 2, but I made the support rep. ArenaNet's pretty cool on this one. I may or may not have been using botting software on ArenaNet's Guild Wars 2 because I wanted like a legendary thing, and I was farming them. Anyways, totally in the wrong, and they banned me, rightfully so. And I remember making a picture, and I had like a guinea pig sitting on a keyboard, and I said, I have evidence that someone else was piloting my computer while this happened, because they have all the logs. They knew I was cheating. So I sent him a picture of the guinea pig sitting on the keyboard. It was funny. I think it gave the CS rep a good laugh. They still banned me for like 6 months or a year. And then a year later, I contacted them again. And then I was like, hey, I can't log in. And then they unbanned me. So it wasn't actually that bad of a ban. I think it was like a year and a half, something like that. and it was good. But yeah, I think a lot of gamers think like they'll threaten like, I'm gonna get my lawyer, I can't believe I've given you money and you caught me cheating, so I'm gonna threaten you guys. And anytime you do something like that, you're just gonna be permabanned forever and you're never gonna get your account back. So try to be lighthearted, make the person laugh on the other end, have some kind of relation, and then you're probably still going to get banned, but maybe check back in like 6 months to a year. You might get your account back if you're lucky like me, but that's probably the only instance where I almost got permabanned. All the other instances, oh, well, there was EverQuest back in the early 2000s, but I totally deserved that one. I was able to crash entire servers. There was an exploit. The early MMOs, really dicey. And they put way too much on the client side, and there was a bug where there was world spawns that could happen, and I found a packet injection you could do, and it would crash the entire zone. And if you crash the entire zone, it would reset all the spawns. So then if you were camping certain raid bosses, it would respawn them instead of having to wait like 3 days, which was really awesome. And then there was another exploit where they didn't, I don't know how they left this client side, but they left the delay of the weapon client side, and you could actually inject the packet saying, hey, I already swung that weapon. Instead of a 50-second delay or a 50 millisecond delay, this is actually a 1 millisecond delay. So then you could effectively like 50 or 100x your DPS with just one character. So it's like your one-man raid force. And then I also did warping back and forth. I'm a dirty, dirty cheater. Anyways, I don't do that. I'm reformed now. All I do now is mod games to make them better for the average person. Nothing that bad. God, I shouldn't have said that. That was just terrible. I'm just off today. Anyways, said too much. Said too much. All right. My gosh. All right, guys. How's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing? Oh, PlayStation. PlayStation bans. You know, you don't really get banned too much on the console side of things. Xbox probably closest. Oh, no, I got banned from Xbox, but that was during the JTAG era. If anybody remembers the Xbox 360s, you could do a password workaround, or it was essentially a chip you could solder onto your board of your Xbox 360, and then you could load all the games you wanted onto it, and then play them without the discs. That was really cool too. Man, that was cool. But the problem with the 360 was whenever it went online, if it detected that chip, you'd get banned. And I think that was another instance where I got banned. Yeah, now that I think of it, there's actually more than a handful of times I've been banned by gaming companies. Anyways, I'm reformed. I haven't gotten banned in recent years at all. Fun story. Yeah, I mean, you can get banned from modding and stuff, but I don't typically do anything necessarily. Anything, my rule is simple these days. As an elder gamer, I have one simple rule. Anything can be modded, and as long as it doesn't affect someone else's gameplay, it's okay. So as long as I'm not causing a negative experience for someone else, have at it. That's my rule. That's my golden rule. So anytime I'm changing a game, an online game specifically that I'll play with others, that's the one rule I will not break. I don't want to negatively impact someone else's gameplay for it, but at the same time, whenever gaming companies do shady stuff and things that I can add, they added a time sink for something, or something to where they're trying to extract or squeeze more money out of the gamers, I'm just like, homie, don't play that. We're gonna get a bad workaround, because that's just wrong. So yeah, and that's the thing. We're all here just to have fun. That's the big thing. Oh, you can't find the last stream? Here, let me get it for you. Oh, you know what? I was just thinking that before I went live. Oh, I don't think I ever did let's see, it was the tier list one, right? See, I never added it to the live stream. Oh man, I didn't make the key moments. 1 second here. We're gonna just do a little AI shenanigans. It's cold that day. Let's grab some subtitles, shall we? Oh, this doesn't have subtitles? Yeah, 1 second. Generate us some subtitles. Let's hit up old Claude. Paste that in. And 1 second. Yeah, let's just grab that. I probably should do like a workflow for this. This is not exactly the most efficient thing, but I like to do this just to add some kind of timestamps, like when people are looking for the tier lists from last stream, where people will probably get upset with me. So anyways, anytime that happens, you know. Let's see, does it add? Oh yeah, it does do where their tier list started. Okay, cool. Yeah, damn, we did an hour and a half of tier lists. Bro. That was insane. Anyways. It helps others. So let's just add that. Hit that up.
Oh my.
Boom. And then we got our chapters in. See, see, this is a good use of AI. If anybody ever wants to do this, this is my recommendation. All right, cool. So we got that. Is Claude better than ChatGPT? Yeah, like 1,000 times better, yeah. You know, Gemini is actually coming around too. Sometimes when Claude and GPT let me down, I'll try Gemini every once in a while. And Gemini is a little bit kinder on the rate limits too. So it's pretty good. Is there a new LinUtil update coming soon? I thought we just did one, Lexor. Did we not? I thought we did a release. Oh, is it only December? Yeah, December 1st was the last full release. Probably wait to the new year for the next release. We have quite a bit of commits since then. Just an update for you LinUtil folks. We're not really doing any LinUtil work today, but since December 1st, yeah, we've got a lot of cleanup. Gabby was doing a bunch of cleanup on LinUtil, and I think I did a couple commits here in the background, but nothing too bad. Yeah, all this got put into the main release. Here was the last release. And then this is just mostly cleanup, formatting. Nothing too big. That's not worthy of a release yet. So we'll get there. But that's going to be for January. Old January. Today we're going to be looking at old LinUtil. I'm a GitHub addict, man. I just love it to death. It's just so much fun. Oh, just so much fun. We do need to do a release on LinUtil. It's been a couple months, so maybe we'll do a LinUtil release today. So that's pretty good. Yeah, utility for Linux. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. Anytime I try and fix something in Linux, I try and make a script to fix it for everybody. That, and if I ever need to come back to that problem, which happens often in Linux, where I might do a new reinstall and be like, oh crap, I've already solved this. Instead of having to like pull up a video or go to an article and then redo it all, I usually just make a script so I can just go to LinUtil, click the script, and then it just fixes it exactly how I fixed it in the past. So I don't know how many people use LinUtil these days. Probably not that many. Because it's really kind of like, hey, when I run into problems, I just put that in there to fix it. Eventually, it's going to get more built out, much like Windows Utility was. I mean, a lot of the code in Windows Utility, when I launched it, it was just CLI only, and probably like 5-10 years worth of code in there that I had in business. where I was just like, these are sane settings I use in Windows to just take out a lot of the crap. And yeah, it just takes years to build certain utilities and also make them stable. I think a lot of people overdo the tweaks and then it has adverse side effects. Like some people like just run every utility known to man and then just break their computer. But the idea is to have a really nice set of scripts that think of all the adverse side effects you could have and then runs it. The script actually has agnostic distributions, so you could use it on pretty much anything. However, it's more battle tested for Arch because that's what I use. There are people that are making patches for different stuff. I know Alex was a big dev on LinUtil, and he's a Nix user. And then I think we even have a Gentoo person. Excuse me. Somebody on Debian and Ubuntu, typically those get updated relatively because most distributions are based off of Debian, so that one gets updated quite often. I would say Debian's second place to Arch, and then Nix, see some love from Alex just whenever he's around. He'll pop in like once every couple months usually. And then, yeah, let's see, do we have any other ones? Slackware, I'm not sure. I think we have a couple codes of Slackware in there, but it just depends. You know, if someone wants to use the util and they're a Slackware user, they can see what's already there and then just add the packages that are needed. Because really the only difference, like most people think of Linux as this really complex thing that has all these distributions and all these different installs, but really the big difference is just they're all using the Linux kernel. It's just a matter of package manager. So is it apt? Is it Pacman? Is it DNF? Is it, I mean, there's a gajillion of them. Zipper if you're on SUSE, emerge if you're on Gentoo. Yeah, there's just swapd if ClearLinks is dead, so that's actually not a package manager anymore. There's just a lot of package managers, but I mean, once you understand the package managers, then you just got to figure out, did they name the packages the same thing? Usually not. As with everything, nothing's standardized in Linux. And it's probably the biggest gripe I think I have is like, dude, why didn't you just name the package the same thing as it was in Debian or Arch? But everyone likes to change the package names, so then it's relying on that community to come in and go, well, I see the package from Arch in Fedora, it's this. And then they'll just add that. So package manager is really the only difference between that. Oh, the parody videos. I looked at the script, man. I think that's just going to require a lot more thought. I don't think I need like a special computer voice for the AI one. And yeah, it's just a lot harder than I thought there, Caleb. So probably no parody videos today. Sorry. We do have a chaotic AUR script. Yeah. So why still DWM? DWM's rock solid. So here's another fallacy among computer users. And honestly, this applies to Windows, Mac, everything. The more pieces of software you have installed and the bigger the amount of packages in your system, the more problems you are going to have and the harder it is to troubleshoot. That's like just a generalized thing. So DWM, while this is just plain C, just old school C, right? It's about, I want to say like 10,000 lines of code maybe. So not very much on the way of an actual code base. I mean, sometimes some people will go 10,000's a lot, but in comparison to anything on any other modern operating system, that's like absolutely nothing, where most of it's like millions of lines. It's very basic. It's also, there's nothing to break. There's literally just one binary and that's it. Everything else can just kind of go away, and I don't have to worry about it. DWM's less than 10K. Well, Phoenix, I have been adding to it. So, I mean, I don't know how much it is. Let's see. Let's just see. How many lines of code is my DWM? All right, so we got DRWC, which is 546 lines. And then we have DWM, this is the bulk of it, which is 4,100 lines. And then config H is less than 100 probably. Oh, well, I'm kind of added to it. 174. So like probably around 5,000 lines of code in total. So I actually doubled, overshot by a good margin there. So my bad. Yeah, DWM's very, and this is more of a a feature-rich DWM. I'm gonna call some purists that just use suckless are gonna go, well, 5,000 lines. It's far too much. That's way too much. But like I said, this is like just so minimal. There's nothing else I need for it to all work seamlessly, and it just, I pick exactly what I use. There's not a ton of crap. It all works great. And frankly, I need to probably prune some of this up and keep it as minimal as possible. Keep it simple, stupid, right? And that's kind of the philosophy behind it all. Yeah. Yeah, and more points of failure, you got a larger attack surface, you got all these things, you know, that run into having a bunch of different packages. And, you know, I really like my setup. It works great for me. If there's something I'm missing, I can just add it. But it just have every feature I have on my machine is used. So if I'm missing a feature, I add the feature. If I don't use a feature, I remove the feature. And then it keeps that code nice and succinct. Now, having said that, there is one feature. At one time, I was messing around with like the sys tray, and I couldn't get it working exactly how I liked it. So I ended up doing like polybar type situation. And some of that sys tray code's still in my DWM. I need to strip that out. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I do still have some cleanup to do. But I kind of just make a mental note of that, and then I come back to it. But the big thing is, keep it small. Like, let's say you're a Wayland Hyperland shill, right? That's what most of the cool kids in Linux love these days. Not for me, for various reasons I've covered multiple times. But let's say that's you. Instead of grabbing someone else's dot files and bloating up your whole system, maybe if you don't know anything, sure, go ahead and do that once. Install Omarchy or something like that that has just everything in the kitchen sink tossed in there. But make a mental note of everything that it's doing and the things you like, the things you don't like, and then build it from scratch using only things you like. And then pretty soon, you're going to absolutely fall in love with your operating system. I know, it's 2025. Most people have given up on that dream of, oh, hey, this is great. That's impossible. But you literally can have fun on your computer just configuring it, believe it or not. It's actually a thing. And it's one of the things I like the most about my system setup. It's unique. It's the only one in existence. You know, nobody else is rocking this. And I think that's kind of cool because it's exactly to my taste. Oh man, one shot. Okay, yeah. For the new year, should we make some goals for 2026? I think that's kind of a big thing. I popped up on Odyssey. A dude made a Wayland compositor that looks and kind of behaves like Minecraft from scratch. It's called Waycraft. Have you seen it? Because you should see that crap. Oh, I'll have to check it out. I'll check it out. That's funny. When we get in a Chris distro, I don't know. That's the thing. Like the distro, to distribute a distro and think of all the different components that go into it for generalized compute is a bit of a nightmare. Like, that's why you haven't seen a Steam OS, right? Like everyone's, you know, your normies of the computer world, your Linuses and all the other people in the computing space have been, you know, your ordinary gamers is another one. They're all like Steam OS. And I'm like, man, I know they said they'd do a general release, but you gotta realize, I don't know, if I was Valve, I would never do a general release because it's kind of a pain in the ass to keep up with all the different various hardwares and then supporting, and it is an absolute nightmare on Linux. But you can do a limited release like they're doing now, where it's like, we will support the Steam Deck, we will support the Lenovo Go, we will support, you know, hardware that they know will work well with their configuration. And that makes sense. But to do like a generalized Linux distribution release, man, it just takes a special kind of person. And it's typically gonna break and be hard to configure for so many people. So I don't know if I'll ever make a generalized release. Maybe. I'm going to keep updating my GitHub, and if I can get everything exactly as minimal and perfect as I can, it's possible. But I don't know. Once upon a time, I thought, yeah, that'll be easy. What's that curve? What is that? It's not Occam's razor. That's like if usually the solution's staring you right in the face kind of thing. What is it? Oh, God. Where it peaks up and you think you know it all, and then you kind of figure out some more stuff and you realize you don't know anything, and then you slowly build to a level of mastery. It's slipping me. Dunning-Kruger. That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's a good representation of the typical person and how you, when you first dive into something where you start to learn a lot and you're like, oh, this is easy, making your own distro is easy, and then you start to actually get into the nuts and bolts of things. You're like, yeah, well, there's just a lot of crap that goes into that. So yeah. Phoenix, you still on Odin? Phoenix? I know you've been a big Odin fanboy for a little bit now. Yeah, KISS principle always works. No matter what you're doing, just keep it simple. And it's kind of funny, especially in the online era of all the phonies out there, and, you know, hey, I worked at this FANG company or whatever for umpteenth years, and I'm so smart. But when you actually listen to them, they make things a little bit too complex, and you're like, do you really know what you're doing? Because here's the thing I've learned about mastery over the years. A true master will make the complex simple, and a bullshitter will make the simple complex. And more often than not, a lot of your influencers online do the latter. And that's probably the best way to spot a phony. Can they make the complex simple? Or do they make the simple complex? And that's the big thing. Which one am I? It depends on the subject. I can bullshit with the rest of them, that's for sure. But that always sticks in my head. Yep. All right. Let's jump in, because the thing I wanted to look at was the LinUtil today. Let's go LinUtil, get up to date. And the big thing I wanted to pull in, let's put this at number 2, right? And we'll put you at number 4. Get this set up. All right, perfect. Let's open up. Oh, let's restart our extensions. We need to update our code. All right, well, 1 second. It's been a little bit since we did a system update. Maybe we'll break Arch today. We're on day 600, aren't we? Before we do this massive update. It'd be funny. It would be... Look at that. OSH, 600 days. 600 days on Arch. How insane is that, y'all? Let's go. Nothing's better than live system updates on stream. I love it to death. I swear I hate gaming laptops. Never buying one again. Oh, man. Facts. Gaming laptops suck. Honestly, they suck in Windows, too. Replace that with multi-lib. Yes. Yes. All right. Onward and upward. 323 packages. Saying how sick they are of Windows, and that's what distro to choose. But people do not realize there's a steep learning curve to Linux. Yeah, there is a steep learning curve to Linux. Persistent, thank you for the prime. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. When it comes to Linux, what I see happen often is Windows users will come to Linux expecting that their knowledge from Windows will carry over to Linux. Like, I was an extreme power user in Windows and very good. And I had a server background, and I've already messed around and knew quite a bit about Linux CLI, the terminal specifically. So you would think a lot of that knowledge would transfer into Linux desktop. At least that's what my thinking was back in 2018. And I was like, I know a thing or two. I know how Linux works. I'm just going to switch from Windows to Linux. I just saw a YouTube comment saying it can't be done. Screw them. I'm going to show them. And so then I made a whole, like, thing back then. Younger Chris. Naive Chris. And it was just really a whole different world. And I think not only is Linux so much different from Windows, but there's two different Linux crowds that people need to realize. There's the Linux server crowd, which is your businesses, your sysadmins, that. And then there's this often not talked about, misrepresented, neckbeards, kind of crazy, the zealots of the Linux realm, the Linux desktop crowd. And the Linux desktop crowd is just a unique, passionate crowd. That's a little crazy. Don't make them mad. I've done a poor job of that. I've made too many Linux tier lists, I think. People hate me in the Linux desktop crowd. But I digress. It's a whole different set of knowledge to learn about Linux desktop, because audio and understanding the inner workings of how that works, whether it's ALSA and Pulse, or you go on ALSA to Pipewire, but you're still interfacing with Pulse a little bit. And then if you are insane, you might throw in Jack as a package. And then we're still in audio right there. And then when you get to the video side of things, you got, well, what compositor are you using? Are you using Wayland? Using Xorg? What display manager are you picking? Are you going to be initializing it with like LightDM? You're just going to say, screw it, I'm not going to use a display manager and just do it all from startup script. Are you, just there's so many choices that can be made. What bootloader are you going to use? There's 4 or 5 different bootloaders now. I always just use Grub because it's what I know, but a system deboot is also a viable option. And then what is it, Lumente or whatever? That's the new kid on the block. All the young kids are doing that these days. But there's just an infinite world of exploration that happens in the Linux desktop realm that people just discount. It's cool. A lot of people are like, it should be standardized. Everyone should use the same thing. I'm like, no. I used to think, well, to help with Linux adoption, maybe that would be a good thing. But no, Linux would lose its way if that ever happened. It has to be this way. It has to be this convoluted, fragmented mess that you have to learn about. And then you can figure out which piece is the puzzle that fits you. And then you can make something beautiful out of it. That is unique, that no one else has, and that's specifically yours. And that's what Linux is. That's what Linux desktop is. It's not this distribution's the best in the world. It's not any of that. You get lost in that crap. Once you learn Linux, specifically Linux desktop, and all the different components that can go into it, man, it's so damn fun. It feels good. And you'll love your computing experience again. We had, what's going on with Synergy 3 bin? Let's see, they might have broken it. It might be out of date. Let's see. Yeah. Wayner G, Synergy 3 bin. Okay, so it's out of date. All the Synergy crap's out of date. Unfortunate. And that is an AUR package. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna leave that. Let's get rid of Quick Shell though. I'm not using Quick Shell anymore. J Malik, QT6 Wayland. Yeah, let's get rid of that. All right, so we've gotten rid of those. We're still down. AUR packages, Synergy 3, we're gonna just leave as is. It's probably getting an update, probably like an app image or something like that in the future, but I'll probably just sleep on that for a little bit. All right, so we're all up to date. Did we install Linux when we did that? I didn't even check. We might need a reboot. Oh, yeah, we got a reboot. It's a new CachyOS kernel. Yeah, man, that's kind of how I am, dude. You know, DWM's just comfy for me, and I really like it. It's so minimal. It just fits me. It's not for everybody, though. You know, it's not a one-size-fits-all, but it is for me. AUR, I think since Omarchy moved from the AUR, we've seen a lot less outages. Omarchy, I think, just added a ton of traffic, and some bad actors got in there and started DDoSing the AUR. So it's kind of wild. All right, let's quit out of that. Still doing it on Odin. All right, Phoenix, man. I think that's the beauty of it, though. Like, even if you don't even want to use anything available, Phoenix is building his own window manager using Odin, which is great. What is it, Ginger Bill? That's the Odin guy? Seems like a good guy. The chaotic AUR is actually pretty tame. I really like chaotic AUR. Adds a bit, makes it to where you're installing binaries and you're not really having to worry about, too much about like a bad build or a missing dependency and that kind of thing. Because AUR is just essentially a build script for most software. And some softwares use older dependencies, and you're just grabbing the binary. A lot of times you don't even need those build dependencies. So it's I highly recommend just kind of staying away from the AUR as much as possible, and then just using chaotic where you can. Let's go. Code, record, go here with this, grab it. I do have a weird bug on Chrome on this specific system. On my inside system, I'm using the same setup exactly. but it doesn't have this long spooling time. I think it's something with one of my connections. I think because I'm using a fiber 10G connection, there is a long spool up period before it actually shows anything. So I'm like, I don't like that necessarily. So I got to figure out what's going on with that too. Yeah, in the AUR, you got bad actors and people submitting bad or virus-laden scripts. The community does a pretty good job of finding that whenever something becomes popular and it has viruses, but it's still a possible. It's not something that's set up all that great. So let's put you to number 5. Let's grab you guys over here. I remember I used to just, I still think I should probably build like some kind of software for this, but can you elaborate a bit why Zorn OS is in trash tier on your last stream? I'm on the spectrum, and I'm not mad, just disappointed. It just for me, like I'm never gonna use Zorn. Zorn's fine. Like it's just another fork of Debian, and they've picked out everything. You can pay for it and get a more interface, so it's fine for people. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I think there's better distributions out there. Maybe for someone brand new that doesn't really, I don't know. I just think now I just would never recommend Zorn. So it ends up in trash tier. Not even for a new user. I just don't like it. I think I installed it a little bit and then I was just like, nah, this ain't it, chief. So that was my thoughts on Zorn. And I have a touch of the tism too, so it's not like not like something I just look at it and I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense to me, really. I think they try and make everything simple for a new user and have everything structured, but coming from Windows as like a gamer / power user, Zorn just didn't make any sense to me. So it was just trash tier in that regard. Where, a CachyOS or a Bazite, and from the Debian realm, just plain vanilla Debian, honestly, I feel like would just be a better solution for most. I know Debian's not the most user-friendly, but it's gotten pretty damn good in recent years. At least you can download the ISO. That's just my thoughts. It is said to be the best for people moving from Windows. I just don't think it is, but it depends on the person. Maybe if it's like an old man that only wants to use his computer for like web browsing or something, that might be true for that user. I just don't think it is for most people. Like that's the thing. Like distributions are starting spots. Where are you as a user? What is your primary use case for your computer? Like, real talk. You're looking at the computer. What do you do on your computer? Are you programming? Are you gaming? Are you browsing the internet? You just checking TikTok and YouTube all day long? I don't know. Depends on the user. But a lot of times I recommend a Bazite for a non-technical user that just wants to game. I think Bazite's a great atomic desktop system setup in Linux that's hard to break. So non-technical users can really dive in and do it. For a user that likes to tinker, but also play games and be able to install just about any package, CachyOS is a great starting spot. Notice how I'm saying starting spot? Distributions are simply a Linux kernel, a package manager, sometimes a desktop environment, and then an accumulation of different packages. That's every Linux distribution follows this formula. And all a distribution doing is choosing those sections for you. At the end of the day, there's really only like 2 distributions that even matter. Maybe 3. I'll say 3. And that is simply Fedora, Arch, and Debian. The rest are typically all below that. I mean, yes, I know there's fringe distributions that aren't forks of those, but damn near 90+% of all Linux desktop users fall into those 3 distributions. So people overcomplicate it and see these long ass best 10 distros to use tier lists, or the tier list themselves is a bit of a joke. So I kind of do all this tongue in cheek where it's just like, guys, all it is at the end of the day is it's Debian with some shit on it. That's all Zorn is. It's Debian with a bunch of packages tacked on. Real talk. You're using Debian. You're just got a bunch of extra crap tacked onto it. That's what Zorn is. That's what all those trash tier ones are. It's just someone picked out a bunch of packages for you. Oh, but they made some system tweaks. Okay, cool. You can go into your etc and make those same damn system tweaks. It's not like it's rocket science. So that's the problem I have with Linux distributions in general, is people overcomplicate it. They say, there's a billion choices, I don't know which to choose. All right, fine, just install Mint. What do you want me to say? Like, you gotta learn. You gotta go in and go, okay, I'm gonna learn what packages to install and what I like, what I don't like, and then you just make your own. Like, that's all they're doing. It's not hard. It's just people don't want to learn it, which is fine. It's fine. If you don't want to learn it, that's fine. Just go use Windows. Use Mac. They're going to be way better if you don't want to learn shit. But old Big Tech's going to tell you what to do. And you got to be happy with Big Tech telling you what to do. You got to be totally content with Microsoft and Apple ruling your life. Whatever direction they want to take, you got to just stand in line. So the choice is yours. You can either learn something or go line up with the rest of the sheeple, get behind the Windows or Microsoft person, or go over to Mac. It's fine. But if you're looking for a Linux distribution that's just perfect for you, you go to install it and then everything's just, the clouds part and the sun shines on your face. That shit don't exist. It's never gonna exist. It still relies on you learning Linux. It still relies on you understanding it to some kind of level. Eventually something's gonna happen and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta open up the terminal. Damn it, I'm going back to Windows. I'm going to save you the headache and just tell you the truth right here and now. Linux is probably not for you. It's not for everybody. You got to learn something if you want to do Linux. You can't just go, I learned this once upon a time in Windows 15 years ago. It doesn't matter. Dude, I can't connect to Wi-Fi on Linux. You probably are missing the firmware drivers. Oh, I know, Linux doesn't have drivers per se, but there are proprietary blobs. See, this is the funny part about Linux is you got to realize most Linux desktop users are a little autistic. Just saying. And essentially they're drivers. As you know it in Windows, there's the same thing in Linux. So you can actually go in here. Let's search. What kind of Wi-Fi adapter is it? Is it Realtek? You might need the Linux firmware Realtek package. So you'd install that, and then you'd have your Wi-Fi working. Oh, but what if it's Broadcom? Then you would install the Linux firmware Broadcom packages. Look at that. Firmware files for Broadcom and Cypress network adapters. Bet your Wi-Fi would work now if you got those installed. But you don't know that. And you got to go out. You got to learn it. And this is where
I think a lot of people should use AI. I have found Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. Hell, you could even use, no, don't use Grok. Grok sucks. But use those. Just go, Wi-Fi don't work, and then try and give it exactly the driver you have. So like, let's go LSPCI. If it's like baked in, it's not a USB, look for that driver. So I mean, this is a massive server system, so I got a gajillion different things in it. But look for that and go, oh, it's probably something with the network. Let's go grep network. Maybe it was... Ooh, do we have a Realtek? Nope, we got no Realtek in here. No, it's not Nick. Anyhow, find your stupid network adapter. What is my network adapter in here? It's gonna bother me. All right, autism's taking over. You're on a backseat here. What did I label that? What is the network adapter labeled? I got 2 of them, so I know it's here somewhere. Where are you at? Oh, network. Okay. Yeah, okay. So let's grep network. Say what? Oh, capitalization. I should have done case sensitive. Anyways, fun. You got to enjoy these little problems here. Ethernet would be another one to search for. So anyways, there's my 2 Ethernet. Oh, yeah. Actually, it should be this. Ethernet. Yeah. So this will give you all the Ethernet controllers on here. So we have 2 Intel-based Ethernet controllers, and then we have an external 10 gig SFP. But let's say you're using a Wi-Fi dongle from, let's pick something cheap that sucks, that probably most Windows users use. TP-Link, right? Oh, God. Stupid $10 adapters. Suckers. All of you that buy them. But they are cheap. So then you'd run LSUSB. Look at what all's installed here. I got a Bluetooth adapter from Realtek. Oh, another fun thing that Windows users will go through too, besides Wi-Fi. So we talked about Wi-Fi. What about? This is a fun one that's just totally bonkers, and everyone's sleeping on how shitty this is. I'm waiting for someone to make a YouTube video about it. I probably should make one. But gaming components and how awful they are. I'm talking like the absolute trash tier of gaming peripherals. SteelSeries and Razer. Good night. Have they turned in absolute dog shit? Just, oh, so bad. So everything from SteelSeries and Razer made now is like the hardware doesn't have any onboard flashing capabilities or memory, so it's all controlled with software. So many of the buttons just won't even work on Linux. It's just stupid how they've programmed these things to be so proprietary and god awful. So if you've just run out and bought yourself a new keyboard and mouse from Razer, there's no help for you. Throw that shit in the trash. Go get an actual a real man's keyboard and mouse. I mean, that's the other thing. Yeah, there's no hope for you. You're just screwed. Like, there's certain things that are just like set up purposely and designed to only work on like one operating system, and they do it so you have to install like this ungodly huge, essentially malware on your system that will control the lights. Like, I have, like, there's solutions, don't make me wrong. There's OpenRGB, so hopefully you got like an older version of Razer and you can do something with it. Like I have right here, it's a Hero gaming mouse. It's relatively new. It's a Logitech one, but you could set the color and all that right here, or you can just click that to set it to blue or whatever, and then you can apply it. It's some support on device memory, like this is a glorious keyboard I'm using now, and that's just a typical QWERTY ANSI style keyboard, and that's really, really good. And you could save this, save the profile. Certain devices you can actually save to device, where I think here's save profile, but I don't have my I think my glorious one changed. 32. Oh, it did. 320F. 1 second. Sorry. Just to showcase. B. Yep. Save and rescan. Probably also need to update the UDEV rules. 1 second. Modules. Nope. I don't think it's a net filter either. Ah, crap. Where is that? All right. Make UDEV rules for and then it'll just spit out our UDEV rules we need. It should be high draw and USB. If you want a more secure, do that, but it's the more secure here. Plug dev. Oh, yeah. So this changes it to read write for anybody, but if you're part of the plug groups, plug dev. Oh, see, I don't have the plug dev repo here. If there was a plug dev group, I could add myself to it and then specify this rule that would be specifically for users with plug dev. We're gonna just use the we're gonna use this rule right here. It's fine. So let's go 50 dash. We can call it anything really, but honestly, you should probably do a number for everything so then you know what order they actually get loaded. Let's grab that. Let's reload our rules. And then you can verify permissions. You should see read write down here on these ones, which is good. So then if we go open RGB, super simple, right? It still didn't work, did it? Oh, come on. Give me something. Still didn't work. Nope. Come on. Wow. Well, anyways, it should have shown up. There's something else going on there. Either way, don't care because I've already saved the profile in there. If I wanted to control it, that's how you would control it. Typically, you do a UDEV. Oh, I think I have to actually unplug it and then plug it back in. It's like, man, that should work. Rescan. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Why isn't it reading my keyboard? It works on the inside. Probably something else. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Sorry. It's the rabbit holes of Linux. It's a good example of what to expect. Did you ever make X11 remember monitor serial number positions? Phoenix, I did not. I need to do that. Oh yeah, 600 days of Arch Linux. It's kind of crazy. Is the keyboard on the list of supported devices? Kind of. So this keyboard, I had to flash a custom GMK firmware to, and then I think I have to do something else too. It kind of works. It does everything I want it to do, and all the program buttons are programmed correctly, and it has a high polling rate, so everything's set exactly how I want it. And the onboard memory on this keyboard does work, so I don't really want to mess with it too much more. But essentially, yeah, I got it working on my inside box, and then I just set up the keyboards and bought 2 of the same ones, so then I can just swap them at need be, and everything was great. So I love it. I love this keyboard. This is a 100% glorious GMMK3 ANSI style. It does have, you can swap out, I think you can swap out the keycaps, but I just did the stock because they're linear, and linear feels good to me. I don't need the clicky. That, and I don't like the sound of the clicky. How to bypass Limine so Cachy loads directly. Limine is your I'm saying that wrong, but that's your bootloader. So I guess you could change the bootloader. It's a little bit of a dice roll there, though, and it's gonna be rough. Some sweet C99. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done. I don't know the ANSI C style. I'm not like a keyboard snob at all. I tried to jump in that community for a little bit, and I tried like the split keyboard and going, oh, check me out, I'm gonna be more efficient. And then at the end of the day, I was just like, this kind of sucks. I'm just gonna go back to. I think I'm just too set in my ways to change my style of keyboard usage at this era of my life. So, cheap keyboards and universal keyboards, just using standard QWERTY, is where I'm going, and I'm just going to stay until I get carpal tunnel and my hands fall off and I have to take pain medications to do these streams anymore. It depends. Depends, Artie. EXT4 or BetterFS. These days, I kind of just do EXT4 because I do just a really basic backup scheme with BetterFS, or with time shift. So I usually do like an rsync to a NAS box, and it's just done every boot. Which, speaking of backups, let's see. Yeah, so we're rocking. Yep, there we go. So on boot, it does a snapshot of everything, and then throws that to the 3 terabyte. What the hell drive is that? I think it's just a blank. Oh, that was like an old NAS. Yes. That's right. Those were 2 old NAS devices I had laying around. And I was like, screw it. We'll just use spinning platter for the backup. Might be what's causing my boot to be so damn slow. I mean, it's not that slow, but anyway, yeah. Just thoughts. Relaunch app. Search some, yeah. What do you get if you run network CTL in terminal? Oh, I don't use that. I use Network Manager for my stuff. Oh, I mean, it's just a different knowledge base, man. Like when it comes to Windows, Linux, at all. I mean, I use Mac too. I use it all. It's just a learning each one. You know, a lot of people love the Glove 80. I've heard great things about it. It's just, I'm on so many different computer systems that I would literally have like a backpack with that stupid keyboard, and I have to plug it in everywhere I go to just be able to use any keyboard, because you got to stay on that keyboard, and that just doesn't work for me. I got laptops, multiple different laptops. I got multiple different desktop systems that I'm on daily. I have way too many systems that I'm touching that I would need to bring that Glove 82. If I had one specific workstation, it would make sense. But just going off of the standard is just a nightmare for me. So I am done with the fancy keyboards. The fancy $300 keyboards are just not worth it for me personally. I'm 100 words per minute. What am I on? Well, probably like 60 words per minute. It's nothing to write home about, I can tell you that. Ah. I also don't make as many mistakes. Just, like that muscle memory. Let's just restart. 1 second. Let me lock in here. Yeah, 60. I was doing so well, I had a good flow, and then I just bombed out, like, right in here. ADD took over. I was like, God, this is 30 seconds is too long. So, yeah, 60 to 80 probably is where I hover. If I did it more and more, I probably could get a higher score, but that's about it for me. I had my split keyboard drop to 80, and then I went back to standard over 100. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, I've tried the split, man. I just can't get behind it. I think it's just... You know, I think it's like avocado toast. You gotta be a hippie to get the split keyboard. I just don't get it. Sorry, shots fired. Just me coping with the fact I bought a whole bunch of split keyboards and I no longer use any of them. And probably wasted... I don't even want to tell you how much money I wasted on them. Because then there'd be record of it. And that doesn't make me feel good. Oh, wrist pain. See, that's, I think, viable. Yeah. See, the wrist pain, I think, is a definite viability. It just depends on how much you're typing, though. So I don't type very much. Most times mine... I have to think more than I type in what I do. So a lot of times I'm thinking about what I'm doing and then typing. So the easiest way to do a typing test is when 200 people are watching. True. Facts. Yeah. So I don't know. So I get the wrist pain. If you're a typist, I think that works. And I think the ortholinear setup, there's something to it. So it does feel better, I will say. Like, if you have the keyboard, it's slightly up, so you have like a little tenting kit. And then you're sitting there at the ortholinear, and then you're just kind of sitting right here, doing all your typing. And you're not moving your wrists, which is good for those typists out there. More often than not, though, I got my left hand on the keyboard, my right hand on the mouse, and I'm kind of flipping back and forth all the time. And I already know what chat's going to say. Titus, you just need to get good at NeoVim. I hear you. I'm trying. But sometimes you just can't teach an old dog new tricks. I love me some NeoVim. I use it. And I have my entire setup of it. It's great. But I just have problems using it with big projects. So I end up doing code. I've literally just given up and just said, you know what? VS Code works for me. Screw it. Just make fun of me at this point. I accept my fate. I don't think anything more needs to be said. Just learn the Vim motions. I know, man. It is great. I will say I love it. So like if I'm doing like an nvim vtc fstab, I misspelled it. Oops. So let's say you're in here. I do love like coming down here, going to the next, retrieving, and then like catting like a blkid command. Oh, not cat. 1 second. Ha. Let's delete that. But like getting in here, this is cool. So like doing a retrieve, just blkid, sorry. And then just grabbing it all and going, oh crap, yeah, I need to grab what UUID. Let's go to probably N1P2. Great. Let's Haha. N1P2. Oh, actually, let's go E0 N1P2. Just jump here and then come on over and say, I'm going to grab A9. Let's grab that to here. Yank it. And then with that yank, come up 3 lines. And then go UUID equals paste. Oh, paste. Oh, I screwed that up, didn't I? I thought I yanked it. Did I not? Vim problems. There it goes.
Yeah, well.
Then you paste it in. So, like, this is huge for me. And then you just get rid of all the extra lines. You got your UID. You never had to leave your editor. Super cool. I love it. I love NeoVim for this specific use case. So it's not that I don't know it. I know Vim motions can be better. Yes, I know you can make aliases to do all the things and get there. But I found myself changing that stupid NeoVim configuration every freaking couple weeks to a month to try and accommodate some other solution where if I just had it up in Visual Studio Code, I would just be able to do my damn work, hit save, close it, and then be done. So I'm not saying NeoVim sucks. It just sucks for me when it comes to programming. I just can't. I've tried and tried and tried, and I'm just like, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work to an efficiency level that makes sense for me. I think I'm just a normie. A smooth brain, if you will. I will never be in the elite ruling class of the NeoVim users. I will be a mere peasant looking on them from my Visual Studio Code going,
The dude abides.
It must be nice. But alas, here we are. NeoVim sucks. I use it every day. Just me for one shot. Yeah, man. We're gonna do some one shot. Not today. We'll do some one shot. I promise. Goals. I'm sorry. I've gotten so ADD to the stream. Use the tool that works best for you. For your skill set. Ain't no shame in that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's so true. But I think NeoVim makes sense for me in certain instances, like configuration edits and different system stuff like that. I just don't like NeoVim for big projects. And I know that's like a skill issue, but it's not like I've tried a bunch of different things. I've done like Git projects and then pulled it in and then done searches. And I was like, okay, I can kind of see it. But at the end of the day, it never just jived. I never got to a spot where I was like, ooh, this feels good. It was always like, I gotta look that up. Oh, I gotta do this. I'm just like, screw it. I'm going back to VS Code. But I still use NeoVim all the time for the config files. It's great for that. Emacs, I'm afraid of Emacs. I'm afraid I would like it so much and then you'd never see me again. Because I love Markdown. Whenever I've done anything with like org mode, like Emacs does, I've loved it. And I'm afraid if I tried Emacs, I would be the guy that would just have my entire operating system be Emacs. And then I would just do everything in it. And all I would do is preach about how amazing Emacs is and how much Vim sucks. And nobody likes that guy. You know, that's the problem. It would be the death of me. It would be the end of my online career if I tried Emacs. So at this point, I just got to say, no, probably best I don't do that. I feel like that cult might get a hold of me, and I could never leave. So that's why I don't try Emacs. Nano for the win. Ugh, I hate Nano now. Once you go learn some Vim, it's hard to go back to Nano. I had a Nano edit the other day on I think it was like a remote server, and they didn't have Vim installed, and I did Nano. I was just like, oh, this feels awful. I don't ever want to do this again. Next time I'm just going to install Vim before I edit this file on this server. You know. Oh god, that guy is amazing. The programmer that makes those interview ones, the Emacs enthusiast, when he had like the white wig on. Oh, so good. So good. What convinced me was Theo talking about the guy who taught him use stock Mac in a code. One thing that sticks out, Theo's made is a video. I think I was watching a video from him, and I loved what he said because it really resonated with me. And I think Theo uses, I think he's just a VS Code user on Mac. Super bland, right? I could be wrong on that, but I think at the time, that's what he was rocking. And he said, you know what? This isn't probably the perfect setup, but it has the best defaults for me. I really don't have to change much, and it just works for me. And all I'm looking for is something with sane defaults that works well, and then I can get my work done. And I was like, you know what? That's a guy that produces stuff. And say what you will about Theo. He has some pretty hot takes from time to time that are pretty funny. At the very least entertaining. Some of it might be even rage bait. But Theo has produced products. He has actually gone out, programmed a product, released it. And he's done this like 5 times. So he's done like that live streamer product. And then he did, God, what was the thumbnail one? That was kind of funny where I was just like, well, you could just use RimBG from Python. And then he did like T3 chat. Long story short, Theo does... he has a lot of misses, but he also is taking shots. Like, that's the thing about him. He's actually producing stuff and making things for people. Where a lot of people, especially in the online sphere, are talkers. They're like, oh, well, I used to do all these amazing things, but they really don't do shit. You check their GitHub and they might have like maybe a couple hundred commits or something or contributions, but they're all like private and like, oh, here's there, and they just don't have much going on, but they're supposed to be. I'm just saying. Gotta look out. Gotta look out. So I appreciate Theo. You know, at least he's producing shit, and he's pretty public about it. There's something to be said for that. I worked at Microsoft. Oh, God. So great. Anyway, sorry. I've just been yapping. How long have I... God, it's been an hour and a half. I should probably get some scripting done. What's the title of this stream? We're going to do a script, right? Let's go. So I wanted to do, speaking of actually producing something and not just bullshitting the whole time, we should probably do that. God, where did I put my other utility? So we got this util. We got system setup. Oh, here's gaming. Oh yeah, let's make a new folder. Call this Arc Raiders. And we're gonna create a new file. We're gonna call this one setup, config setup. What's the other ones? I don't love that, but that's fine. We'll allow it. We'll do binsh setup configuration for Arch Raiders. We're probably actually gonna need to do a new. Let's pick some mods and mod this thing out, and then show how those mods change from Windows to Linux. I think that's a big thing. So let's go to GitHub. We're gonna make a gh repo. Create. Call this one Arc Raiders. We'll just make it that. We'll make it public. Clone Arc Raiders. So we've cloned that. So let's go into Arc Raiders. Let's think about our scaffolding here. What should we do? We need to make a make directory common folder, make directory compat data. So common, the two differences here, let me show this. So under Steam apps, there's two folders. There's a common folder and a compat data folder. When you open up the common folder, you'll see here is the actual binary and like data files for your game. But this is not inside the wine bottle. So a lot of times, and certain games don't follow this pattern, but most do. A lot of times when configuration changes take place, they will not take place in the common file. But if any modifications to the game files take place, they will. So what that means is if there's like an ini file that gets added that changes something in the game, like maybe a setting, then that would not go here. It would go into the compat data, which if you pull up compat data, you'll notice this does not look at all the same, but essentially it's the same thing as the common folder. Instead of game names, you have game IDs, and you're probably thinking, Titus, how the hell do you find the game ID for the game I'm looking at? A lot of different ways. Probably the easiest way to do it is something called Proton Tricks, I think is the best way to do it. We might make a script to do that, but Arc Raiders is going to be this folder. It's going to be the 8500. I think it's 1808500. And you can see that by just going Proton Tricks. I think it's list. Sorry, it's -L. My bad. So if you do list, let's choose native. And then it spits out the native Arc Raiders stuff. And you can see this is the ID for Arc Raiders. I know you're probably like, what the hell? Why didn't they just make it the name? And I'm like, I don't know. They didn't, though. So if we go into here, you can see this is how a typical wine bottle is set up. And if we want to make changes to it, this one, I think it's on local app data. So usually you go here, Packer, nope. Ooh, maybe it wasn't program data, actually. It might be under users. So program data is where some things hide. Sometimes it's in here. Let's go to application data. Nope. Let's go try local settings, app data. There it is. I think under Pioneer game saved. we should see config, Windows client, and then here is the game user settings. So this long path is where the game settings are buried for this specific game. Each game's a little different, and that's just very dependent on the publisher themselves. So it's kind of neat to understand just at the very basic level of how Wine works and essentially how Steam is able to make Windows games play on Linux using Wine or Proton. Proton's just like essentially just a nice little layer that makes Wine more usable for the average person. And it still doesn't fundamentally change how it works, though. So really important. So probably the easiest way you can see, let's open this up. We'll use, what are we going to use for this? Let's use Neovide. I love me some Neovide. So what can we change in old Arc Raiders here? This is just what's on here. You see most of it is like, hey, what kind of scale? Like motion blur, might take that to nothing. Depending on what you got, you can kind of tinker around with this. Someone's probably already done this and uploaded a config file to, what's that site? Nexus Mods. Usually there's something in there, but be careful when doing stuff from Nexus Mods, because you gotta remember, most of those guys don't know anything. And sometimes they just copy paste a whole bunch of ChatGPT output, so be somewhat careful or cautious, especially if it says optimize with AI. That should be a red flag. So these are most of the game settings. And they would be here. So let's download. Let's go Nexus Mods. I'm going to need to log in here. Second, Nexus Mods is CAPTCHA. It's kind of annoying because I have an ad block on. All right, I think it's good. 1 second. There we go. Perfect. All right, so then we got our Arc Raiders. Couple things here. The two mods that kind of stick out is skip match loading video. That's a big one. And then probably the engine tweaks. So this one changes the data file specifically. What this does is it shortens the load times by taking the built-in movies and then compressing them down and chopping off parts of them. So there's a match loading sequence that happens that extends your load times. And the person actually just took it down and just chopped it up a little bit. So it's kind of a neat little mod here. So we're just going to go File, Manual Download, and Slow Download. So very small file, only 2 kilobytes. Let's come back to the mods here. What else do we have? And then this Ultimate Engine Tweaks. Let's take a look at this one as well. We're going to manually download this guy. Variable refresh rate. I don't think I'm using that. We're going to go no VRR. If you're using G-Sync or FreeSync and it's enabled on your display, let me see if my display shows it. Oh, jeez, I can't remember. Menu. Oh no, FreeSync is on. Oh, how about that? Did not know. Okay. So we're gonna actually get the VRR version because we are using FreeSync. Have you ever tried to boot a Windows partition in a VM that you also booted from Metal? Yep, I have. It will change some stuff there, Vince, and it could make it unbootable in the future. So whenever you boot to VM, it's going to add a bunch of devices and change the install. So don't flip-flop back and forth. I'd highly recommend not doing that. But if you're going one way or the other, it's okay, but you might need to repair your system after doing such a thing. So do it with caution. It's okay, but know that it will fundamentally change your Windows install when you go from VM to bare metal. All right, so we got these two mods in, and what we're gonna do is take, this is where I'm gonna actually leave this. Let's put this in like workspace 6 and come back to it. And let's swallow this up and toss up Thunar. Oh no, Thunar's over here, isn't it? That's right. That's fine. All right, and let's just grab another tab. So we're gonna clear that out. Let's extract this. I like Xarchiver if you're ever doing anything. Let's extract Pioneer. We're gonna put it right here in downloads. So then we got that one. Let's close this. We'll open this guy up. This one's just an INI file, so we can just take that, drag and drop. Gravy. So we got, let's remove that. Pioneer game. And this is the video movie. And you can see they changed the launch sequence and then also the UI travel video asset. So that's when it launches and loads up. There's this scrolling effect that happens at the very start. So those are the two files in this modification. I'm going to take this, copy it. We're going to come over into here. This one's going to go into common. And for common, we're going to just paste this in here. And then for our compat data, that's where we need to grab the engine INI. And then these are the files that will need to go in their respective locations. And I'm trying to think of like a universal thing that most games will follow. Most games will follow this type of setup, and what we'll do is we'll specify whatever's in these directories need to go into the thing that's going to be in our script. So then if it essentially this will just auto install for Linux users, which is great because honestly, in Windows, yes, it's a little easier to hunt all this crap down and then copy paste it. But in Linux, once I finish this script, hell, more Linux users are going to be able to use this than anything else than the Windows counterpart. So let's go here. We're going to go new. What is this? What is this recent sessions business? Huh. New update. Oh, it can also invalidate your license. Oh, good call, Hikari. That's a good thing to know as well. Cosmic Desktop, man. You know, I'm here for it. I always liked more options. It's Rust based on a Wayland compositor, so kind of outside what I'm looking for. But you know, my initial reaction when I tried it in alpha was it was a little heavy, but I liked how simplistic it was, and I thought, you know, it could be good. So I'm actually here for Cosmic. I can't wait to see what they come up with. Let's go common, Steam, common, and then we're also gonna do Steam compat data equals. All right, and yeah, let's do the common script. Trying to think of how I want to integrate this into LinUtil. How did I do Fallout 76? Let me look at this one. This one wasn't great. I didn't like necessarily how I did this one. Look over it. Yeah, this was a little bit jank. AI slop is what this is. Look at all that nesting. Gross. This one's going to be better. I wanted to see, I think I did a find command for the specific finding of the terminal. Select path numbering, print. God, just terrible. Find common paths. This was one thing I wanted. Let's clean these up. I'm going to take these. What was this other one? Find Steam app directories. Let's consolidate these using those functions up there. And I'm going to actually feed the directories in. So for Steam Common, the path will be, let's close this. We got to make this universal. So universal will be ID, user, Steam location, Windows client. This is going to be a universal directory for, oh, oops, cancel. Wrong one. I did a control V, not a control C. All right, this one's going to be that. It's going to be universal. It's not going to change. Let's make that a string because there'd be spaces there. And then for the common, let's grab that. I think just Arc Raiders, really. But for Arc Raiders, Pioneer, content, movies. Let's see what the oh, yeah. So we did Pioneer, game, content, movies, front end. Okay. So let's grab that. That's going to be our common folder. But honestly, I think I'm going to add Arc Raiders to that as well. So let's go Arc Raiders, Pioneer game front end, like so. So that should be pretty good. And that's going to give us the paths based off of the root of the common and the root of the compat data for the installs. Let's clean this Git up. Common. Paste these in. Let's move these to trash. So we just have the assets there. And then under compat data, we have the engine modifications here, which we might actually look at these real fast before we change exactly what we're implementing. Okay, so that's good. All right. clean these folders up and make this much more concise. Let's see what it comes up with. I want it to be deleting a bunch of lines. The problem I have with most AI prompts that I find is they end up adding a lot more than they remove. And what I like to do for prompting is remove much more than gets added. So like right here, it's adding 24 lines but removing 109. I'm here for it. Let's go. So let's keep that. So what do we got? Find all Steam apps. I wonder. It's not awful. But I don't think we need this. I think we can just find the compat and comma paths based on... This finds the root, and then this would find, obviously, the in here, which I don't think we need to find on that. We call it here. And then it's, if there's multiple libraries, that's why I did it this way. Using Claude 4.5. GameScope's kind of hit and miss on some stuff. I find it's nice fallback, but not great in a lot of times. Find operations into one command. All right, so there's only one find happening. So then the Steam directory. Read R. Oh, the read R is not right. So on this one, we're having interactive. So print numbered menu and select menu and print. And then select path, interact. Good night. How much shit did I put in this one? Yeah. Oh, that's awful. I'm gonna just redo it. There's a better way. So let's make a new function. Let's scaffold this out a little bit. CLI interactive selection. And we can do that. See what tab select. Now this is awful. That's funny. All right. Select path. Best way to do this would be IFS read stream directory. We need to find Steam. How was I doing it over here? Yeah, so I added like media and mount points just in case Steam's hiding in another directory. This does add something to the find though. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to approach it. I mean, this one does work. It was kind of sloppy, but I'm gonna keep this one as tight as possible. I'm gonna go out at a different direction on this. Expand, find Steam directories. Expand, find Steam directories to list in the CLI found Steam libraries and have the user select the library from. What if the user doesn't know which library has the game? No, alright. Theme, game, creators. Okay. So we'd select Steam game instead of, because the game won't exist in 2 Steam libraries. Instead of a list with a selection, we're going to go find, expand Steam libraries to auto select the library that has the variable Steam underscore game. Then consolidate and remove compat data and common functions to use the variables with the paths of common and compat data. So that should auto select based on the Steam game using the common and compat data. Then we can do a git clone of these modifications and then auto insert them all in with pretty minimal lines of code. I feel like this would be considerably faster. Okay. So Steam compatibility, yep, compat data. And then the common path, Steam common. Oh, perfect. Yes, 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 yes. Get rid of all this crap. Keep. All right, great. Now we're down to 37 lines of code. We've got these things specified by the user, so it won't be searching all over the place. Steam common will always be that and that. Okay. What other logic should we do? All right, perfect. So this specifies in this function all those. What's this all Steam apps? Because if you look at the Steam directory, we're still doing a read R. Okay. So we have Steam apps directory. We have the compat data in this. Okay, great. So then clone git repo. Where do we want to put the git repo on people's computers? A game can be located in 2 Steam libraries if they share an SD card with multiple handhelds. Oh, crap. Okay, Hikari. I did not know that. Oh, I mean, that's pretty niche, though. For now, I think I'm going to just pretend like you didn't say that. If I want to install Arch Linux using Arch server setup, can I use BetterFS? Or does it still have some bugs? Or stick with ext4? I think right now, General, I've only tested on ext4 lately. I need to go back through on BetterFS. I think we fixed those, but I could be wrong. I know, it's so rude. I want to get a working product first before we future-proof it. Working script. I'm trying to think the best way of doing this. So I have the folder files in there, the mod files. Do we just clone it to temp? Clone GitHub to, we're gonna go temp directory, then copy to compat data path and common path, and we're gonna go /temp. Arc Raiders. If no directory, well, let's just go there. Cloning, git clone. Let's go ahead and lazy G initial publish. Oops, forgot the go tree. Structure of the repo is that. So then we can, ooh, there's not going to be a cap actually there. No capitalization. Arc Raiders. Git clone. So this is already pushed. We're up to date. Let's go GitHub. So no users are going to want to use GitHub anyways. That dirty GitHub. That and its black magic. Ain't nobody want to do that. Alright, great. We'll just grab that. Git clone. Alright. Perfect. Copying configuration files. I don't think you're going to need to do a make directory. Honestly, I think it needs to be an if. No directory. Then make it. And then copy. On that compat data path. What did we end with? We did end with a / and a /. Okay, great. So we're going to come copy compat data. That is compat data engine. All right, great. Compat data path. Perfect. And then we do the same for, wait, what? Yeah, let's do the same for this one. AI is getting a little squirrely. It has a tendency of doing that. Then we copy the common path. So pretty easy. So we clone it to the temp files. Boom. And then be print a success. Instead of returning, let's clean up. Remove, return 0. So then it's nice and cleaned up. So there's the clone and the copy that happens. So we'll do find Steam app directories. Find Steam app directories. And then, that's funny. We don't need that, but I want to just see what it printed. And then we're going to clone get repo. So then we have our clone, copies the files after a successful clone. All the variables are being used now. It's close. I feel like there's a logic error in there, though. The script essentially removes and streamlines the start of our creators, so the loading into match sequence is considerably less, and also the initial load of our creators is faster. Then the INI file will also get cloned into the compat data. Just makes it look better, be more efficient. But as I say that, let's go GitHub, arc raiders, compat data. Let's open up this engine file. I'm kind of curious. So this is the engine file that this guy made. I'm just gonna look for anything that kind of sticks out that might be things I don't agree with. He did a good job with the documentation. It looks rather clean. But the DLSS we won't be using. We would need to use Fidelity FX because this is an AMD system. So that would need to be probably swapped around. We'll leave it for now. Just something to think about. Most people will be on NVIDIA though. And then async and pipeline functions. It's weird they have configuration for async in the INI for a game. You don't see that every day. GPU crash management. Meh. Just essentially saying no dumps. Threading. None of that makes any sense, but it's probably just crap they added in. Lumen settings. Nanite parallel compute settings. I wonder how much in... Because the actual INI file was not this long. I wonder how much of this is just made up shit that just doesn't have any spot. It's well organized, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of like, Some of these variables look super sus. I'm sure the game would just ignore the variables, but still. Alright, there's that. Startup time, shaders. This just seems like excessive. It's removing and stopping all logs. Okay.
Telemetry, crash handlers. There's no way this many variables, and this has to be duplicates. Like, there's just no way, right? I feel like this is AI slop, right? Let's check it with AI. Check for dupes. Let's just see. I have a feeling there's duplicates in there. Oh, it's doing the whole workspace. Let's stop that. Sorry. Let's just check this active file for dupes. Yeah, it's fine. I think it screwed up the encoding there. Let's fix that. Okay, there we go. Found 378 duplicate configuration keys. Knew it. The file explicitly states that many CVARs are purposely duplicated to bypass game overrides. These include VSync settings, film grain settings, motion blur settings, and chromatic aberration settings. Okay, good to know. So they intentionally duplicated a lot of that crap. All log settings appeared twice. And these both in script and console variables. This is intentional by design. The author notes this prevents games from overwriting the tweaks at launch. Oh, okay. Whatever. I'm sure this guy tried them out. Sure. Good enough. I just wanted to see what the hell was in it. All right. It could have hallucinated too. You never know. Only way to do it is to test it, right? It's the only way to know for sure. Your mic volume is very low. Is it? I don't know. It's close to red on my side of things. Although, if you're coming from like a YouTube video, typically they add the loofs and pump it up about 10 extra decibels. I can't really do that on my side because it sometimes causes peaking. Yeah. But yeah, like compared to a regular YouTube video, I'll be about 5 decibels below it because what happens is artificially whenever you're producing a YouTube video, you'll typically put a little bit more compression on it and then push up the sound because you don't want your video to be quiet compared to other videos, and it pushes everything a little higher. But you do remove some of the dynamic range of the actual audio whenever you push it up higher. So live stream, I've kind of tinkered with it back and forth for many years now, and I'll probably continue tinkering with it. But this was kind of like the sweet spot where I could hit record, still capture a lot of that dynamic range, and then if I need to bump up the audio, I always do it in post. But obviously, since we're live, we can't really do jack on that side of things. All right, let's go. New. Let's do a quick check. Check for logic errors. Yeah, and Darren, I mean, usually, like, it'll come in a little quiet, and then on the next video you watch on YouTube with post-production on there, it won't be there. But most other live channels that you check on YouTube, they should come in around this audio level. They shouldn't be too much quieter. So that's probably why Twitch people never report a problem, because everything's live over there. And then YouTube people sometimes go, oh, the mic's a little low. I'm like, yeah, compared to videos, it really is. Sometimes it's just me not talking in the mic, too. All right, found several logic errors. The script calls for this at the end without checking if success, if fails, missing variable checks. All right. We'll fix it. This one's Claude 4.5 online. Claude 4.5 is kind of like my staple. Claude typically does a pretty good job as long as your prompts are pretty solid. It's a little wrong. That's okay, we'll fix it. I love how it's just RMRF, RMRF. Alright, I like it. That's cool. Alright. Let's, that's pretty funny. Well, actually, it will only say failed and remove. And honestly, you kind of wanted to clean these up at each time. Because the return one will exit the script. It does seem a little more verbose than necessary, though. Thinking. It just looks ugly. I don't like it. This is just not... I'm sure it'll work, but I don't like it. Let's clean this up into a function that takes the variables needed and reduces the overall lines of code. It's just not how I would do it. Yeah. Like a specific one and then just call the function with those variables should be fine. You're saving 7 lines of code by doing that. Source destination. It's not as nested, though. I don't know. Stop using AI, get some help. No, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the code. I just want to make it look cleaner. Nothing wrong with it at all. And the big thing here, so we got that, we have the clone, here's your copy. At the end here with the find Steam apps directory, yeah, I think that's good. looking over it. I like it. It's less than 100 lines of code. There's a lot of error checking going on. We should have some decent stuff there. Let's see what happens when we just run this as is. Oh no, Prime dropped the in Vims from scratch 7 hours long video. Good lord. No, that's not real. Post that. What? Did you ever consider making a mod manager like Fluffy 5000? Maybe. YouTube's making clickbait. They clickbaited you guys into here. That's pretty funny, actually. All right. No way. Primogen has a 7-hour. That's not real. I mean, that kind of tells you what I was saying earlier was true. Yeah, no way. Let's go YouTube. Was it on his main channel? Let's go here. The Prime.
So I want to take a little.
Nope. Well, I don't see it here.
So I want to take.
There was
a little bit of time.
another. What's his other channel? Was it the live one?
So I want to take.
Nope. Wasn't that one. Alright, you guys gotta give me the link. Unless you're just trolling.
So I want to take a little.
I hate the intro videos, by the way. The Vimogen, if I was gonna be anywhere, I'd be here, right? I don't see a 7-hour video. At least not recent. Most everything's just 10 minutes. Here's a 5-hour. A 5-hour. It just looks like Mr. Beast reaction videos. I don't know. Anyhow. Alright. Regardless, sorry. Oh, LoJack got me. Oh, it's 30 minutes. That's not bad.
I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. There you go. That's 3 years ago. It's probably absolutely pointless now. NeoVim has changed so much in the past 3 years. So pretty much everything he's probably showing here is not even... I think the package manager changed completely too. I think it was like Mason, whatever the hell it is. I think all that's changed now. Now it's all integrated in instead of having to install other plugins. Now, NeoVim just changes too damn much for me. That's the other thing about NeoVim that I'm just like, dude, everything just changes all the damn time. And I'm like, you gotta just constantly be up on it. I mean, who actually uses NeoVim and programs a ton? Like, real talk. Like, you're a professional programmer and you use NeoVim. I don't know. Does that person exist? Phoenix doesn't count. Friends of friends don't count. Phoenix is special. Yeah. TJ's like one of the creators of NeoVim, so that makes sense, I guess. But I don't know. Every time I load it up, I'm just like, damn it, they changed it again. It's cheating. I know. I used to write law documents, and now I read books on it. I could see that. I could see it because you got like the... Oh, what do I use?
I think it's the Zen mode in NeoVim. And with Zen mode and NeoVim and everything kind of goes away, it's really nice because it's not distracting. You don't have a whole bunch of crap in it. So I could see reading books in it. Yeah, see, you still bounce around. So you're like me, Hikari. You use a little bit of everything. Oh, now you mostly do WPF. You poor soul. Oh, Tro, I feel bad for you, man. That is a fate worse than death itself. Having to do mostly WPF and win forms. As a guy that uses WPF often, I salute you. Oh, I hate WPF. But it's way better than WinForms. I'll say that much. WinForms is just awful. There is no redemption for WinForms. Fun fact is, if you look at LinUtil, almost all of it's WPF. We used to actually use WinForms before we transitioned to WPF. I don't mind WPF. I like to shelter it gives from the WinForms crap. Fair enough. WinForms is by far the worst. I started LinUtil with WinForms and then we transitioned to WPF. All right, well, let's run this thing, see what we get, right? Oh, not source. Was it core? I don't even remember where I put tabs. There it is. All right, what's the over-under if this works or not? I think it's going to work. Do we want to launch the game first just to make sure it works before we completely break it? I don't want to launch in a game, though, because it just takes too long to queue up for a match. Gabby says it won't work. Maybe. We'll see if we one-shot it or not. I have my suspicions. How is the state of Arch right now? Is it stable enough to learn it? General. I'm going to show you something. You tell me. Is that stable enough for you? Stable enough for me. 600 days. Let's go. All right, let's launch into Arc Raiders real fast. What kind of options are we running here? Just game mode run with a command. Compatibility, we're using GE Proton 1026. All right. Here we go. We're going to pause the music for a second so we don't have overlapping music. And let's see what it looks like first. We're just paying attention to the intro movie. That's the thing that matters the most here. Nah, Kubernetes. Blech. No, thank you. Close to 700 days? Not yet, Gabby. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. I mean, I can't believe I have broken it a couple times over those 600 days, but we were able to restore or get back to where we were. Wasn't so bad. Ooh, you know, I kind of want to do some funny Linux stuff on Arc Raiders too. We could pipe in the music, do like some synthwave, and then just constantly broadcast our location to everybody on the map, jamming some like crazy synthwave music or something like that. All right, so this is the intro, and then it should come down to our guy. All right, so that's what it looks like right now. Let's exit, and then we're gonna try and patch it so it does run. We've seen the intro. Let's see what our patch does. So we're gonna go config setup. Hold on to your butts. So it's gonna search for the Steam libraries with Arc Raiders. Let's see if it finds the directory first. Since I have a ton of network folders, this is gonna take a little bit. For most people that don't have a bunch of NAS folders attached to their Linux install, this should take about a couple seconds. But since I have roughly 30 something terabytes, it's got to kind of sift through. It might take a little bit. I should probably just take out that media function. Nobody really plays off of NFS drives like me. Yeah, let's take that out. That's just taking too long. All right. Let's go. We'll leave the mount folder, actually. All right, this should take considerably less time. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Found Arc Raiders in Home Steam Apps, cloning configuration repository, cloning to temp Arc Raiders, remote repository not found. Oops. My bad. I gave it the wrong. Oopsies. Failed to clone repository, setup failed. Beautiful. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. All right, now it's been configured successfully. So this installed our INI, engine INI file, which we're going to actually go track down just to verify. And then also changed all those movie intro files as well. So let's see what this looks like. So we'll first start off with Steam Apps, Common, Arc Raiders, and let's go into Movies. Was it? I think it's front end, and then we have our two assets. So these assets right here, if we go Properties, nothing. Perfect. So these are pretty much zeroed out. Great. That looks good. So let's come back to compat data. We're going to go into the ID, which is 180.8500. Come into the local app data. So if you're on Windows, this is where it would be. Through here, we're going to go to Pioneer Game, saved, config, Windows Client. Look at that. Engine files there. However, having the engine file there, I think this might get overwritten. We might need to do a read-only here. Yeah, this is kind of a special thing. We're going to do a read-only and lock this. Let's go. Which would be, what is that? chmod 100? What's a read-only? Or is that 400? Yeah, I think 400 is a read-only. Yeah, or 444. Because if we look at it, yeah, so others read-only, group read-only, owner read-only. So that's a 444. Yeah. So for that, how's that specified when I upload it? I bet you I just need to reclone the Git. No, that's specified read only. So I guess when it gets extracted, it goes ahead and changes the permission. Hmm. So let's fix that real fast. It does look like it all worked, though. Just one little tiny thing. I don't think it matters, but better safe than sorry. Change engine.ini to be read only. Perfect. You know what? I don't want to do the check on this one. Who cares? It either did it or it didn't. Right? So we're going to chmod that. 444. That looks good. Let's run it one more time just to make sure. And we're going to double check. I'm going to set the permissions incorrectly just to double check it actually overrides it and then also fixes the setting. So let's go Steam app. Let's drill down again. So if you're on Windows, if you're going to do this mod, you go users, your user, local settings, app data, Pioneer game saved, config, Windows client, and then you'd have engine that you'd drop in here. So we're going to actually change this to read write. That's how it was set. Then we're going to run this. It'll go through, find them, set it, boom, locked it. Perfect. Look at that. Perfection. Gravy. So then let's look at the game file. So now let's relaunch. Make sure we didn't break the game, right? That'd be sad. Yeah, 400's user only, but just in case something doesn't get set right, we do want to make sure. Do want to make sure it's okay. Now, it did reload our Vulkan shaders, which is actually okay. I find if those don't get blown out every once in a while, you can get some lockups and weird shenanigans going on. So, not great. Alrighty. Looks like we're loading in. All right, here comes our intro sequence. Nah, looks about the same to me. Let's change some settings too, and while we're in here. Console players, we don't want to be playing with the peasants. North America only. Controls. That's fine. Ping, middle, voice chat. I think voice chat could be in a better position. Do I have another one here I could put? Precision. I wonder. Eh. Yeah, we can leave it. All right. Accessibility. Small. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, override that. Let's go with a circle. With a dot. I'm an old man, so gotta be able to see everything. Bring it up to thickness. Outline thickness. Let's bring it up to a 4. Opacity, 85 is fine. Let's bring that down into like a green crosshair. And then we're going to make the outline red. Yeah, I know. It's ugly. Also, another tip, bring game into foreground on match found. If you don't enable this on certain Linux things, it will lock up when the transition happens, as it doesn't like to load the game. I actually had that happen, so always turn that on, I find, especially for window management. So like if you're on any window manager, even Hyperland and stuff like that, it's probably good to do. The rest of this looks pretty good. Yeah, I just like to see where it is. I lose my damn cursor all the time, so I know most people are gonna be like, man, that's ugly, but I know where the crosshair is. It's a Christmas crosshair. Yeah, I prefer it that way. All right, gravy. All this looks good. I can load up in the game, but I don't know if you guys actually want to see it. I'm gonna go ahead and say we're good there. Let's compile our Linux utility now. We now have this guy, our config setup, but we do need to expand the tab data to incorporate arc raiders. Data. Yep. Name equals arc raiders. Data entries. Skip. I think it's not skip, but shorten video transition. Actually, we'll just put faster matches and config optimizations. I'll put an and. All right. Description. Oh, is my Copilot broken? Oh, I might have ran out of. Nah. Oh, I think I might have ran out of freebies. Oh well. I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. Videos for transitions and matches, and also loads a optimized configuration file for VRR and modern, and removing motion blur and other nasty settings. Boop. Script gonna be under arc raiders. Boom. And config dash setup dot sh. All right, and then for the key, we're gonna go last task list fm. Yeah, time for a new intern. Yeah. We're close to the end. It's like, it's good enough. We can do the manual work. Arc raiders setup, mod setup. We're gonna just go commit, sync that. Ooh, I still need to do the compile. Actually, I want to say for publish, I did its own script. Oh, that's right. I need to set. It does not. Okay. Gotta set this to 18. I never did publish this. My bad. I did set like specific things on the publish, so I can't screw it up and then have to do multiple publishes. Oh, but let's do a cargo run real fast, just to make sure, and also make sure that this. I probably should exit the game when I do this, but I'm not gonna. Yeah. So then it does it. Perfect. Yep. Permission denied. That makes sense because the folder's already there, which is fine. All right, let's just. Was this core? Oh, yeah. There's core. All right, perfect. Cargo. Yep, there's the next one. Perfect. All right, now we can do our publish. I can't remember if I still have my cargo data in here for the crates.io publish. Yeah, one way to find out. Ah. All right, one more time. With feeling this time. Oh God, if Git's gonna start charging for something, God, I'm gonna get a bill for like $10,000. I abuse the living hell out of GitHub. Sorry to ask a dumb question. CEF based Steam client. I'm not sure what you mean by CEF based Steam client. This should publish to crates.io. And we should have a release. Chromium embedded. Oh, yeah. I actually had problems with the Chromium embedded thing just the other day. And I can't remember. What did I do? Oh, I had a problem when I was using BattleNet. It was like World of Warcraft setup. And for that one, I think I had to go into. Oh, that was the launcher. That was not Steam. I've never actually had problems with the CEF on Steam. I mean, that was specifically the BattleNet launcher I was having problems with. And there was like a config setting and like config.wtf where you could set with hardware acceleration and it fixed it. Yeah, probably reinstall Chromium wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't necessarily have problems. It's more of a big G kind of thing. Oh, fair enough. GitHub is introducing a new 0.002 minute charge to its self-hosted runners. Oh, crap. Well, we kind of knew they were going to come shit on everybody after the GitHub CEO bailed on us. He said, all right, I got my bag. Screw you, peasants. I'm out. I got my millions. Just abandon us to the big old Microsoft. We kind of knew that was going to happen, though. Microsoft should think about replacing that CEO. It sounds like that CEO is about to make them a lot of money. That's all I gotta say. Well, he didn't chase the bag, he got the bag. I mean, come on. We love to hate on that guy all the same, but let's say Microsoft came to your front door and said, hey, I know you really like your baby, but what if I gave you $1 million? And be like, no, absolutely not. Okay, what if I gave you $100 million for your baby? I don't want to completely say no to that question. I'm just saying, you can't hate the guy. He got a giant bag of money, stayed on for what, 2 years after Microsoft's acquisition. No, I think it was even longer than that. And GitHub has remained this bastion of open source greatness for a long time. But we're approaching an end of the era. It's not lost on me. I'll be here. I'll be here when it all goes down. But yes, March probably marks the beginning of the end for old GitHub. All right, anyways, we did get this submitted. Everything looks good. Let's come on over. I'll have to do something. Oh, God, how much money would that be, you think? I think it showed on my dashboard, and it was like $5 or $10. I'll probably have to pony up the money for it, honestly. Although I could easily redo the repo and put it somewhere else. What's everybody going to? Codeberg, probably? Nah, GitLab kind of sucks. Yeah. January, fat bastards, when we're doing the LinUtil. Right now, we just have some basic fixes in. Nothing too bad. It was mostly code cleanup. Not really any changes to the end user. Yeah, we could also host our own Git. That's true. Oh, Codeberg has uptime issues. I mean, yeah, you could always self-host any Git instance. There's Git T as well and other things. So, yeah, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but I do transfer like over a terabyte of some information. Just touching my server would be rough because LinUtil itself. Well, let me just show you. Show don't tell, right? Like, LinUtil itself has 13 million runs. And we started tracking this like a year and a half ago. So 13 million hits to, I mean, like 13 million hits of like I think it's like 100. No. It's up to almost a gig or 1 meg. God, a gig. Yeah, no. It's up to almost like 1 meg now. So it's like 700 KB for 13. So 13 million times 7. I don't know. How much is that? Uh, oh, There we go. So 13 million times 770 KB equals that. So let's divide that by 1,000. This will give us how many megabytes? So let's divide that so we know how many gigabytes that is. Oh, God. So just in the past year and a half, we've transferred a 700 KB file, 10,010 gigabytes. Or was this terabytes? Oh, shit, this was terabytes. So it's like 10 petabytes of information. Hate to break it to you guys. I don't think I can self-host that. That's unless my math was wrong somewhere. That seems excessive for a 1 meg file, essentially. Maybe not, though. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of data. That's all I know. We'll see what happens. Around 10 terabytes? Okay, 10 terabytes. Okay. Yeah, for us peons, though, it might be okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's okay. Self-host that. It'd be fine. Unless it was like a really large project, and then your ISP might have some words for you. 10 terabytes. Okay, 10 terabytes over a year and a half. That's not awful. That's doable. I could VPS that. Throw it up in the cloud. That's doable. GitHub runners is the big thing. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure I don't dox myself here. I think I have billing information here. I think it's telling me how much it's gonna charge. I'm pulling up my billing information. Shit. Ruh-roh scoop. Okay. I mean, it's not awful. It's not great, though. Okay. So right now, for the last, oh, this is only half of the month, is about $13 they would charge for the runners mainly. Most of it's from LinUtil, but I obviously have the other projects I maintain as well. So, you know, this is just this month so far. So you got to double that. So it'd be about $26 a month for me. That's kind of a bummer, man. But I also kind of get it, I guess. I don't know. What do y'all think? Might set up my own Git because I can always redirect it. Like the cool thing is I always had the foresight to see that Microsoft was eventually going to screw up GitHub. Like it was just a matter of time. So when I set up LinUtil, every link that I've sent has always relayed through my site because I always wanted to have the ability to kick GitHub to the curb at any moment's notice and just say, screw you, I'm going to something that's better if they were to double cross us. And I was like, well, it's Microsoft. It's not if they're going to double cross us. It's like, when are they going to screw us over? So let's just prepare for that. So I've already prepared for it. And all the relays, it would just be a simple set up the Git, push change all the origins over from GitHub to wherever my self-hosted or GitLab or wherever, and then just update the link, and then nobody would even know. Hell, most people don't even know right now that we're using GitHub to host LinUtil. How do you feel about Mozilla integrating AI into Firefox? Mozilla's just grasping at straws, trying not to die at this point. I mean, you got to remember like 70 or 80% of Mozilla's revenue went down the drain when the antitrust lawyers came in and forced Google to stop paying Firefox whatever it was. It was millions of dollars. So almost all of their annual revenue came from Google. And the brainiacs that were running Mozilla at the time didn't have the foresight to think, hey, maybe having one person fund 80% of all the revenue we make is a bad idea. We should probably save up for a rainy day. Instead, they just shat all that money down the toilet, blew it on stupid things, and are on the cusp of dying. And that is Firefox in a nutshell. Would I recommend it? Hell no. Absolutely not. I hope they don't die, though. You know, it's always good to have something else in the space, but Firefox is on its deathbed. Like, I do not see a way out for Firefox. They're just trying to do anything and everything not to die right now. And, man, I don't know. I don't think they can do it. I think here in the next year or two, you're going to be seeing YouTube videos everywhere going, I miss Firefox. They're dying. They're shutting down. They're laying everybody off. But, it's the way of the world. The way of things. Yeah, I mean, losing that much of revenue just hurts. But, I mean, they should have kind of seen this coming, right? Somebody should have been like, we should bank this up and improve our product and do other stuff. But I mean, Mozilla's funding and how they've spent their money has just been kind of wild. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have just as kind of like a back thing. You could see. I hope they come back from it though. It's not to say they're gonna die. I just think they will. If I was a betting man, I would bet on their death in the next year or two. Chrome is what I'm using right now. It's awful. Don't use it. I hate all browsers. On mobile, I think I use Brave. I think Brave's mobile browser is actually not too bad. So on your phone, could do that. Brave's not. I think Brave's probably the best out of all of them. I just hate all the crypto shenanigans and all the extra bloat. They don't think they're pushing Web 3 anymore, which is probably good. But they just, I don't know. Brave just kind of hits me the wrong way a little bit, especially when they got busted for doing the shady affiliate links where they were replacing people's affiliate links, kind of like a honey situation, but they weren't stealing from people's affiliate links and changing them. They were adding affiliate links to websites so they get paid for you visiting them, even though they didn't refer you. So it was kind of a black eye. And then you also have all the crypto stuff where it's like, that's also kind of shady. So, man, you could rip apart almost any browser out there and just be like, well, they're all not great. I think the last great hope we have is probably Ladybird, but I mean, it still has a long ways to go. So Ladybird's like the last true independent FOSS-based browser, but yeah, it's still got a long way to go on the testing side of things. I think they're only passing 80% compatibility tests right now, and they have to get up in the mid 90s. Like Firefox and Safari and all the other competitors are like 90, usually in the low to mid 90s. They're getting there though. It's just that last 10% is really, really hard. uBlock. Yeah, I've noticed uBlock Origin Lite on Chrome has been kind of hit and miss lately. And man, it's just like, ugh. So we're going to have to switch off of Chrome again. It's just like, man, I hate switching browsers. Why do I always have to screw up stuff? So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're all based on Chromium or Firefox, and it just seems like building a house on sand no matter what you use. But I'm rooting for Lady Bird. I really hope they pull it off. You know, everything else out there is just like, they're on Google's dime or, Mozilla Firefox and not, for many reasons I just have no faith in either company. And I don't even know whatever came from the antitrust suit where they said they needed to sell off uh, Google Chrome. I think that finally got walked back because everyone realized it was a terrible idea, but I don't know. That was kind of a weird time as well. Yeah, Alex updated Thorium. Yeah, Thorium is interesting, but you only have one dev. It's still one of my favorite browsers, honestly, that I've ever used, but it's usually 3 or 4 revisions behind Chrome, so it's really, really delayed, and it's just not something I can necessarily like run as my main daily driver, I think. Maybe. I mean, if Chrome pisses me off enough, maybe I end up switching back to Thorium. I mean, that's how desperate I am right now, where I'm just like, I just want it to not suck. Just give me a browser that just not bloated with a whole bunch of crap, just browses the web and blocks ads. That's all I want. I mean, I feel like that's not a hard thing to do, but yeah. uh, why not use Chromium? I think Chromium runs in the same problem as, many of them. You could. Chromium's not bad, I guess. Thorium's currently 5 versions behind. Yeah. Uh, I have no problems with furries. That's fine. Oh my god. It's funny. Yeah, I think Chromium is probably the safest to recommend. It's pretty boring, but it's probably the safest to use and recommend in 2025. Dude, come on, I can barely even finish my DWM. How do you think I would do on a browser? I don't think I'd do any better. On Google Chromium, I remember having a bunch of problems. So it's weird. Like sometimes you remove too much and then it loses some support. Like that was that why I liked Thorium so much was it struck that good middle ground between ungoogled Chromium and Chromium, where it stripped out more stuff and really kind of debloated it quite a bit, but it retained a lot of the functionality where you could still go to YouTube and many of the Chrome sites and it would still see it as like a Chromium browser and it would be good. Where the ungoogled side of things is fine if you don't interact with Google at all. Obviously, as we see here, I'm on YouTube, and that is very much a Google product. So it's like, yeah. Yep, nowhere else does, I think that's a good one right here. Nowhere else does enshittification show more than browsers. Should not be that hard. I 1000% agree with you. The browsers, it's just not great. And I don't have a good option. Wish I did. Vivaldi's old school, man. That's Vivaldi. Maybe I go back and try it. I've always liked it. Zero. Vivaldi is made by the original creator of Opera, believe it or not. Which God knows how much I hate Opera. Talk about an absolute shite of a browser. Opera GX, all those, God, awful. But man, they do pay some good affiliate revenues. I could have made thousands of dollars if I told you guys to use Opera. Don't think I could have slept well at night. But I probably could have got a new car out of it. Yeah, well. Can't cry over spilt milk. uh, mm, you know, just saying. They do have a really good affiliate team. And they do pay pretty well. But that's about the best of that, yeah. Yeah, Opera GX would have boosted my FPS. Well, not my FPS. It would have boosted my sponsorship revenue by like 1,000%. It would have been nice. But alas, I have ethics in the soul. So I cannot recommend you use Opera for anything. Any particular reason to hate? Sure. Instead of telling you, I always am a big fan of showing you. Opera. Bad things they have done. Oh, operatic. Oh, man. Okay. Whoa. Let's add browser into that. How did Opera become the worst browser out there? I think for me, what did it? These don't even show it. Did they scrub the web of it? Let's see. What did Quora? Quora's a terrible website. God, talk about a terrible user interface. Is there? There's no comments. Dude, it's like been scrubbed. Okay. Well, anyways, Opera browser predatory loans. Yeah. I think this is where it kind of started off. This was in 2020. Let's so you guys don't complain. Let's go dark mode. Opera has frequently tried to claim the moral high ground in the browser world, being accused of using its side process far less virtuous behavior. Report that Opera is running 4 Android apps in India, Kenya, Nigeria, and is in direct violation of the Google Store for doing predatory loans. These apps would claim to offer a maximum annual percentage rate of 33%. But actual rates were much higher, climbing to 438% in the case of Opesa. And while the publicly offered reasonable loan terms of 91 to 365 days, the real length was no more than 29 days. Whoa. The conditions only got worse for borrowers who missed their payments. Falling short could raise the APR as high as 876%. So these were loans offered by their certain apps and certain stores, but they didn't go into like the U.S. market. They specifically targeted developing third world countries and preyed upon them with these loans. So kind of insane, which this should be more widely known. But anyways, if they thought that was okay, what else are they doing with their browser? I mean, that's a little bit far cry from my problems with Brave, where Brave was like, I don't really like the crypto crap they toss in there, and I don't necessarily like that they got busted doing affiliate links on sites that didn't have affiliate links, and they just added it so they get paid more affiliate revenue. Well, that's a little shady. This is just downright evil. So that's my problem with Opera, was the predatory loan thing that came out in 2020 and then them downplaying it. It looks like they scrubbed most of it from the internet too, so most people don't even talk about it. Let's see. OS News is a pretty good site. I know that's independently run. Let's see. Opera browser continue losing users, building mobile apps, interest rates. Oh yeah, that was the interest rates thing. But this is in 2024. Are they still doing this crap? This is 4 years later. Okay, so then they transition, so never mind. It gets worse. As if that wasn't all, as push unusual or usual crypto NFT scams, this was a year ago, and now chasing the AI high by adding spicy autocomplete into its Chromium spin. Much like Brave. This guy doesn't like Brave. Opera is just a veneer around shady business practices, and you shouldn't use that garbage. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Well, there you go. So, grifters got to grift, right? So, anyways, yeah. You want to use you want to use Opera. Be wary of anything that's crypto, loans you might see that pop up in the browser, whether that's something you search for or something that just shows up one day. Those types of things. Don't sign up for anything using Opera browser because God knows what information they're harvesting from your ass. Ugh, I'd be sweating bullets if I used Opera. So, anywho, that just goes to show there's just not very many great options when it comes to browsers. I just hate it. Yeah. You know, yeah, Opera was good in the beginning of the 2000s. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I never really got onto the Opera train, but I could see it in the early 2000s not being that bad. By the time I looked at it, it already kind of started going downhill. And then I think when their original creator spun off and created Vivaldi, it really went downhill, especially with the new C-suite that they have. It's just kind of insane. Just shady upon shady. Yeah, you know, Chris roasting Opera again, of course. It's just what I do. Anytime I see somebody in chat saying I use Opera, I'm like, well, just so you know, if this shows up, you may not want to click on it, or you may not want to do anything banking related in this browser. Just saying. Friends don't let friends use bad browsers. So you might be thinking, what browser should I use? Oh, God, I don't know. I'm just ready to unplug, shut down my computer, and move out in the middle of the field. The new Opera Air, your most mindful browser. Oh, God. Hopefully that's not a thing. It has a built-in free VPN. Oh, my God. The VPNs. The free VPNs. God, nobody falls for that crap anymore, do they? I know they do. There's somebody out there installing free VPNs. I think it was. Oh God! All right, gotta talk about free VPNs for a second, just because nobody's really made a video. Somebody will make a video about it. So there's browser extensions you can install that have official malware in the browser extensions that do the free VPNs. You also have just malicious tracking that happens through the VPNs. So your information's getting harvested regardless, right? Well, whenever you use a VPN, it's like an official honeypot because everything is going to flow through that VPN. So then they're going to be able to share whatever you're doing on that VPN to whoever. So, man, VPNs in this day and age, it's just kind of rough. You know, surely, Proton's not terrible. Molvad's not bad. Past those two, man, I don't know. I don't think there's any other good VPNs out there. Yeah. It's a rough go out there. Yeah, Urban VPN Proxy was the latest malware. That's right. That was a Chrome extension. So, man, the VPN situation is kind of hilarious to me. Most of the people that use VPNs for security or privacy, it's a bit of a joke because like they use the same accounts. They're still being tracked. It's not like it's doing anything. Maybe it's unlocking their website that they're trying to get on with age verification. I know what you're doing. But just no. You're still getting tracked. That's still getting recorded somewhere. You ain't fooling anybody. I'm just saying. All right. Well, sweet guys. I'm gonna shut it down for the day. This was a fun one. I know it was a little bit I just wanted to do that Arc Raider script and expand that into LinUtil. And oh god, we did need to do the oh yeah, here you go. Let's go LinUtil. Let's go releases. I do need to make a new release here. Oh, I didn't do the X task checks. 1 second. Got to do one more push. Oh, I forgot to do the documents generation for this. Oh, no momento. All right, we did the docs update, so that should pass now. So once that goes through, we should have a check mark, and then we can do the LinUtil release. What was the preview? Oh, I still got to update the preview task too. My bad. Anyways, let's pin this. Docs update should come through. Once code QL goes through, it should be X task checks. All right, we're gravy. Let's go. Are CachyOS repos worth adding to Vanilla Arch? No, Ahmed, I don't think I've done anything there. I haven't really tested it yet. Arch repos have been just so rock solid for me lately. I don't want to screw it up and change it. But I could see that. Like the CachyOS team is pretty talented, and I could see them doing some kind of optimized packaging. But at the same time, I don't want to screw up a good thing. And everything's working so darn fast and great for me that I'm just like, I don't really want to change it. I did switch to the CachyOS kernel, though. Ooh, speaking of which, we probably need to rebuild our bootloader. Did I still have Bazite on here? I don't think I was using the Bazite kernel anymore. No, I wasn't. So let's go sudo make. Ooh, no. Sudo grub mkconfig. Let's output to boot grub.cfg. All right, we're just gonna redo that binary. I remember when I had the bootloader up, seeing extra entries that didn't exist. So I forgot that we got an update grub. For some odd reason, I need to probably put that on a Pac-Man hook on a system update. I just am not. So probably doing like a Pac-Man hook to automatically do our grub make config would be ideal. Yeah, but that's a problem for Chris tomorrow. Oh, let's see. Let's see what we're talking about on that. So CachyOS delivers optimized distribution, recompiles Arch Linux packages specifically for v3 and v4 Zen 4 architectures. So like if you're a AMD user, oh no, even regular Intel it looks like too. AVX 512 support and a 5 to 20% performance uplift. No kidding. Let's see. Yeah, I got V4, V3, and V2 support. So that's there. So it does support V4. Use the same mirror list. Okay, for migration steps, take this. If you're on AMD, make sure you go here, but we're not. This is a Xeon. And then SCC for clearing cache and that. And then SY. And then reinstall all packages to switch to the new architecture by doing a QQN S dash. Reboot your system. All right. To do it, we provide a script that automates the install. Nice. Huh. Let's try it. I'm game. I'm down. Let's go. Well, let's switch to CachyOS repos. Could I break my system? Absolutely. I never miss a chance to break my system, though. Install size 11 gigs. Seems legit. Probably should have run time shift before I did this, LoJack. That's a good thing. So if you're thinking about doing what I'm doing, make sure you have a good backup. Me, I like to ride the line, you know? Like, hey, if I break my system, can then I fix it? Otherwise, I lose stuff. It kind of adds like that level of hardcore to Linux ricing. There's something about it. There's something about it. You know, like if you have a backup, like what fun is that? It's like playing a game, knowing that you can just respawn in the exact same spot when you'll have all your stuff. But tell me this. What do you like better? Playing a game where you're just always playing it safe, respawning with all your stuff? Or do you like playing a game where you go out, collect a whole bunch of stuff, and you can't save it? You got to get to an extraction point. Been playing way too much Arc Rager, by the way. And then someone comes along and you do a massive update and you just get shot in the head and you fall over dead and you lose all the stuff that you collected over the past several hours of gameplay. This is kind of like the way of doing that. The latter one. It's a little more risky. But a little more fun, in my opinion. You do you, though. Yeah. Who uses restore points? That's going to be like half the installed packages. I'm pretty sure that's 1,062 packages. How many packages? Yeah, that's well over half. So we have 1,690 packages installed. And we're installing 1,062 packages. So, whew, this could be absolutely tragic. Yeah. Would I recommend anyone doing this? Absolutely. Makes you feel alive. Oh, shit.
Just clear these 1 second. Just gonna try that again. Yep. Yep. It's not good, guys. It's okay. We haven't rebooted yet. Networking problems? I don't think so. Oh, you can do like a yay dash Q to list all the packages. Uppercase Q. Yeah. Down speeds are killing you. What, the 30 to 50 megabytes a second? It's 11 gigs. So, shit. What's the plan of attack here, guys? It failed at the exact same spot. Well, we can try a SYU. The problem with this is I don't think yeah, I just don't think that's gonna work. Let's exclude synergy real fast. We had issues with that earlier. But yeah, I think this is just gonna fail again. We'll try the SYU just to put your mind at ease. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Cryptic. Now, it was GCC. We could rip GCC out. But then we're not going to be able to build anything written in C, which could be problematic considering DWM is entirely written in C. Oh well, let's see what happens. I feel like it's going now. Maybe it just needed a good kick in the nuts. CDN 77. Actually, believe it or not, they were one of my very first sponsors. CD77, they gave me access. Oh God, I remember. I kind of abused this, but they gave me full access for 30 days to complete bare metal, like sitting inside the backbone of the internet. Oh my God, it was so amazing. I remember I downloaded the Arch ISO in like 1 second. It was just stupid fast. Oh, I loved it. It does look like it's working here. Maybe we just needed a little restart. No, don't stop being a wimp. Who would turn back after this? It's fine. Just a couple 404 errors. Doesn't look like anything that important. Although that libpulse package might be our audio. We're Linux users. Who needs audio? It'll be okay. Yeah, you kind of should do the Pacman QQ in, pipe it to Pacman S dash dash needed. Oh, that's true. Well, no going back now. We're in the middle of the upgrade cycle. So, yeah. I think it's fine, guys. I feel good about this one. Should we do a poll whether or not this works? I think it's fun either way. All right, let's do a poll. We'll straw poll it. Straw poll. Oh. All right, here we go. Create poll. Will this Arch to Cachy repo update work? Pay no attention to my capitalization. I've written too many YouTube titles. It's brain rotted me out. So I capitalize shit that shouldn't be capitalized and lowercase shit that shouldn't. It's just part of me now. All right. I'm going to say, yeah, sure, it'll work. Let's see the results as they come in. Oh my God. That is a lot of no. Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's working just fine over here. Totally okay. It's down to 56. I mean, honestly. I'm kind of impressed. 43% of you think this is going to work. It was like, well, I think what we could do is say 54% of the audience has seen my live streams before and 46% hasn't. I think that would probably be accurate. I mean, who knows though? This could work. It's not really throwing up that many errors. Hey, there's a lot more optimistic people in the world than I thought. I thought optimism was dead. And here I am, looking at this poll going, you know what? We're going to be okay, world. This many people think it's going to work. 44% of you. You know, you're glass half full kind of people. And I love that. That just tells me we got a good amount of people up here. Sadly, I don't think I'm actually part of the 44%. I'm pretty sure this is going to brick my system to no end. So let's go. All right. Here we go. Are we ready? Should we do another? Let's just do one more update just for good measure. Okay. It looks fine. Are we ready? One thing here though. Bash. CachyOS v4 is using an older version of Bash. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We got to do one more thing. I want to give it the best opportunity to succeed. We're going to force install this.
Nah, I'm gonna just I'm gonna switch everything. We're gonna go off script here and just kind of do what I do. Just what I'm going off vibes right now. This is what I think the system needs. It's talking to me. It says, Titus, since we switched all these other things, how about you bring these ones back a version, line it with the CachyOS repos, rerun the SYU, make sure everything's up to date, except for Synergy, because that shit is broken. But whatever. They'll update their shit some other time. Now, just Synergy. See, there's something. Oh, there's something else there. 1 second. Just gotta. Ooh. I'm sure it's fine. Let's just get rid of these. Just gonna purge a couple packages. We're going off vibes. 1 second. Feeling better. Feeling better. All right. Let's exclude Synergy. Let's update this one. I don't know what libvips is, but we're gonna make sure that's up to date. Beautiful. And now it's looking good. Nothing to do. Hell, let's try and do Synergy. It failed earlier. Now that we're on CachyOS packages. Although, are we on CachyOS? Let's see. Ooh, maybe I should have cleared out those build packages first. This is going to fail, though. Yeah. Nah, well, let's reboot. All right, here we go. Let's go. Ooh, SYUU. What's the extra U do? Michael. Yeah, I don't know what Vips was either, but it wanted to update it, so I was like, sure. When in Rome, let's go. Oh, yeah, that would have been a good one. Arch has been stable so lately. I don't want to touch it. And then as soon as after someone was like, hey, you get a performance uplift if you do this, I'm like, well, say no more. Let's go. All right. Let's see if it boots. We just replaced almost every package in our entire system with a V4 20% performance increase. We're supercharging this bad boy. And feeling good. It booted. Well. How do you like them apples? Pac-Man's still designed by crackheads. Well, that's true. No argument here, good sir. I totally agree with you, Pac-Man, and the syntax of Pac-Man is designed by crackheads. But that right there, that's some crackheads that also happen to find some amazing focusing drugs there. Yeah, that's insane. I can't believe that worked. I'm almost a little disappointed. Really? Be funny if my internet problem about like Chrome starting up and it just spooling forever here. Nah, it's still there. Nah, it's still broken. But that's fine. It does come up. It just takes a long time. I think it's how I have that fiber connection set up. Yeah, maybe it's like cutting out or something. I don't know. Only does it on this PC though. Yeah.
I probably should have done baseline. That would have been smart to do the baseline. That would have been really smart. Wow. The optimists were right. Look at that. The world's not as far gone as we thought. Arch did a insane update and switched everything to CachyOS v4. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. That's wild. Absolutely wild. I mean, Arch is the new Debian stable. It's facts at this point. I have literally tried to break this damn operating system. I can't tell you how many times, and it just keeps on going. It's like, what? How? Yeah. Chris, when will you do the pre-release on LinUtil? Probably first stream of January. Well, it depends. Yeah, I think... I don't know if I'll do a pre-release on the next one, but we'll take a look. First stream back, I promised Fat Bastard and a few others, we have to do Win One Shot. I kind of want to take Win One Shot. We wrote it in C#, and I am just itching to switch it over to F#. I know. I'm mentally deranged. I totally understand. Nobody uses F#. But, hear me out. Hear me out. If we can make a viral F# repo on GitHub, we could get up to the top F# repo, and then under my profile, we'd have the #1 spot for PowerShell, and then we'd have the #1 spot for F#. I could say I now have the #1 most popular repo in PowerShell and F#. And I kind of want that. So we're going to rewrite the whole damn thing in F# because I'm a vain person. And I'm like, hey, let's go. Yeah, that's before Windows screws the website. Totally agree. But we got until March. So we got 3 months. 3 months to make it happen. F# is such a weird language. It's not that weird. It's like a functional version of C#. It's kind of like the testing grounds for C#. So you get a little bit more of like the new hotness with functional programming. It makes a lot of sense. I love it. I love F#. Won't Win Shot cost money? I don't know. We'll see if we actually get a good product at the end of the day. At the end of the day, nobody wants to use it. Nobody's going to use it. How is .NET doing on Linux right now? I think all right. What'd CW say? Oh, Coding Wonders? Yeah, I gotta look into that. I looked at the scripts, Caleb, and I just want to rewrite some of it. I feel like there's a parody video to be made, and I just don't know how to set it up quite right for recording. Got some thoughts, though. We can add something to it. I love the premise of it, though. The execution of the video, though. I gotta think more on how we're gonna execute that and make that video. I don't know. Lately, I've just been really, I don't know, just not wanting to do YouTube videos much. I don't know. It's like YouTube kind of went down the tubes for me, and I'm just kind of like, I just don't care about it anymore. And I don't know. I feel like the golden years of YouTube was like the late 2010s to the early 2020. And then, I don't know, sometime in like something changed in like 2022. And whenever I make videos now, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Hard to say. I can't put it into words. But something's off with the video. Like, I'm not excited to make videos a lot of times. And if I'm not excited, I just don't make them. Like, I feel like you have to, like, be excited to make a video. Like,
too often, I just don't want to get caught up in the cycle of like, and no shade at any creators that do this, because at the end of the day, hell, most of them, it's their full-time job. But I just don't want to farm views, you know? It just seems wrong. Like, farming views to me, and I'm not above it. I mean, it's not like, hell, yesterday I made, what was it, on Tuesday? We did the tier lists on the live stream, so it's about as farming as you can get. But, yeah, I don't know. I just like to make videos that have something new to bring to the table where someone can expand their mind a little bit. And if I'm gonna do a video like a tier list, I would like the takeaway to be more of a, like an underlying principle that you take away from it is, honestly, your distribution doesn't matter. And you really should just learn Linux and do better in that respect, and then you just don't care about your distribution. And that's kind of where I was trying to get to with a lot of my Linux tier list, but that falls on deaf ears because everyone believes that their distribution does matter and that their distribution is better than whoever used this one over here. And I'm just kind of like, not really. At the end of the day, hell, like you saw today, like we were on Arch, and I did everything in my power to pretty much break this over my knee. And it's just like, I'm just going to keep working. And I'm going to work faster now, apparently. I'm going to be 20% faster. But yeah, I just, whatever. No, not another tier list. It's fair. That's a fair point. Hey, Hayden remembered the last one, and he's like, oh God, no. I didn't watch you for a year after that last tier list. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, sir. Know about you saying the word F sharp. Oh, what did I say? Oh no, you're a Visual Basic user. Oh God, I'm sorry, Coding Wonders. You gotta realize I'm not a programmer per se. I've gotten paid to write stuff, but I have never been hired as an in-house developer at any company. People have just said, Titus, we need this thing to go and work. And sometimes I write something for it. Sometimes I would just go buy something for that. I was just the guy that got shit done. So don't take that as shots over the bow, because I also put Java, JavaScript, TypeScript in the F tier in the programming languages because I hate writing in them. I hate writing in Visual Basic too. That was not to say they were not bad languages. I just think they're bad languages, and I don't like writing in them, and I don't want to make anything with them. And F sharp is a top tier language. I'm just sorry. I love F sharp. It just speaks to my soul. It speaks to my bones. I know that's completely wrong. And again, I'm a bit mentally deranged. But it's just how I feel. And I gotta tell you, I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you and go, yeah, TypeScript's okay. TypeScript's all right. 80% of all programmers write in TypeScript. That's how you get a job. I don't know how to get you a job as a programmer. I just know what feels right and what feels wrong. And to me, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, Visual Basic. I can't remember what else was in the F tier. There was a lot in the F tier. Haskell. Okay, Haskell just deserves to be in the F tier. But yeah, they all just feel wrong. And that's why I put them there. It says more about me than it does about the language. I'm just saying. That's just how I'm feeling. COBOL, nobody likes COBOL. COBOL developers don't like COBOL. People use COBOL because it pays the bills. Simple as that. Lords of COBOL. Yeah, nobody's like, oh, COBOL's the best language ever made. They're like, hey, I know COBOL, and I'm one of the 5 people left alive in this world that can actually be fluent in it. And you're going to pay me $1 million a year. And then be like, okay, yes, we are, because we can't find anybody to write in this shit. Nobody actually writes in COBOL and goes, this is fun. Did you just insult Haskell? We should end the stream now before I make anybody else mad. Thank you all for stopping by. Love y'all. It's been fantastic. It's been real. Can't break Arch, I think, is the takeaway from this stream. And on that note, I think I'm out of here. I'm going to go play some Arc Raiders, do some open world, above ground, shooting people. I'm not going to be a rat, though. Don't be a rat in Arc Raiders. Don't be that guy. Be the cool guy that gives shit away. Just saying. Somebody the other day gave me 2 blueprints. Super happy about it. Anyways, I'm rambling on. See y'all later. Probably be a couple weeks before my next stream. So, actually probably be the new year. I'm going to be gone for the Christmas holidays, or, well, be with the fam and everything. So, not going to be streaming. But we will be back in January, which we will tackle F#, win one shot, complete rewrite, ground up. It's going to be amazing. All right, y'all. Happy holidays. See y'all